Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Friday, July 25th, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Seattle Mariners versus the Los Angeles Angels. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes, so let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Friday, everyone. And on the thumb, on the left, our ace, Brian Wu. And on the right, the future Hall of Famer for the Angels, Mike Trout. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, playing center field, Julio Rodriguez. Batting third, catching today for the Mariners, the best catcher in baseball, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, welcome to Seattle, first baseman, Josh Naylor. Batting fifth, playing left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting sixth, DHing today for the Mariners, Jorge Polanco. Batting seventh, playing right field, Dominic Canzone. Batting eighth, playing third base for Seattle, Ben Williamson. And batting ninth, playing second base, Cole Young. And on the mound for the Mariners, our ace, 8-5 record, ERA of 2.91. It is Brian Wu. Now let's get into the starting lineups for the home Los Angeles Angels. Leading off for the Angels on his bobblehead night, shortstop Zach Neto. Batting second, DHing for the Angels, future Hall of Famer Mike Trout. Batting third, playing first base for Los Angeles, Nolan Shonowell. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, left fielder Taylor Ward. Batting fifth, playing center field, Joe Adele. Batting sixth, playing third base, Yohan Moncada. Batting seventh, catching today for the Angels, Logan O'Hoppe. Batting eighth, the former Dodger right fielder, Chris Taylor. And batting ninth, playing second base, Luis Rengifo. And on the mound for the Angels with a 7-7 record and ERA of 3.83, it is Jose Soriano. We're going to be shooting for 20 likes within the first hour, 50 at the halfway point, and we're going to be shooting for 100 likes and 100 on the Dono train. And since we were able to get Josh Naylor to play right away, which is fantastic, there had to be a casualty that would go down to AAA. And unfortunately, it ends up being Miles Mastrobuoni. Now, I know a lot of us would, rather have Carlos Vargas go down or Dylan Moore. But again, they decided to go with Miles. Now, will we see Miles get called up at some point later in the year? It's probably possible. Miles was probably our best backup player on the team since, we started the season. And again, Dylan Moore would have been more worthy, or Carlos Vargas. So I am a little sad that Mastrobuoni has to go down, but I am very excited to be able to bolster the depth at first base where we don't have to play Donovan Solano every day. You know, we did have Solano and Rowdy Tellez back and forth at the beginning of the year. Then they released Rowdy Tellez and stuck with Solano. Naylor is, a 280, 290, 300 hitter, a guy that can play good defense as well. The lineup is starting to get a little sexy. Now, the only thing that we need is to be able to get Gino to come back, and then we will have a full, complete lineup top to bottom. Jose Soriano on the mound, and JP Crawford approaching the box. Trident's up. Let's go M's. And we're 48 subs away from 21,200. We've been gaining a lot of views, a lot of subs, a lot of donos, a lot of shares, and a lot of support. Appreciate you guys very, very much. First pitch from Jose Soriano to JP Crawford. Takes a strike swinging low and away with the sinker. 0-1 count. Nice pitch there by Soriano. 97 miles an hour for the first pitch of the game. Oh, 1 pitch in play, and a little dribbler, throw to first, and grounds out for the first out. JP Crawford, 1 away. And hopefully we can get JP on with, a bunt or a single or a double within those first 2 at-bats. He goes 0 for 1, but hopefully second at-bat will be better. Next up, a guy that has really been turning his season around, which he typically does after the All-Star break, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. First pitch from Jose Soriano, low and away with the sinker, 97 miles an hour, 0-1 count, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Fouled off by Julio, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Soriano to Julio. Top of the first inning, 0-0 here early with the Angels and the Mariners. Monkey Kung Fu, what's good? Soriano on the mound, Julio Rodriguez in the box. And again, getting Josh Naylor is one piece of the puzzle, so we're very excited about that. 1-1 pitch, back, see ya! Julio Rodriguez keeps the hot streak alive. He homers yesterday, and guess what? He does it again, bringing the electricity, proving the haters wrong. Let's go, Julio. 1-0 Mariners. Let's fucking go. Let's go, baby. And we want to make sure we're setting the tone early. What a great job by Julio. Let's go. Trident's up, my boy. Now we just need to see if Cal can match Julio here. First pitch from Soriano to Big Dumper. Low and away with the 4-seam fastball, 1-0 count. Great start here early for the Seattle Mariners. I mean, all of us are very hyped up, obviously getting Josh Naylor, but to get Julio to homer and homer often, let's go. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking low and away with the sinker by Soriano. 1 ball and 1 strike to Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. One pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. 1-0 early lead by Julio Rodriguez with a solo dinger to start off the matchup, and that's exactly what we need when we play our rival, the Los Angeles Angels. You need to strike early and strike often. Magic number will be 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits, and we're already a chunk of the way there. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and down goes Big Dumper, 2 away. And hopefully we'll be able to see him go yard today or sometime this series. Next up, making his Seattle Mariner debut, first baseman, formerly of the Guardians and the Diamondbacks. We're so excited. First baseman, Josh Naylor. And it finally gives us a player like a Ty France that we know that can hit and can defend, even though Ty was, kind of getting older and obviously has moved on to the Twins. But we definitely needed a little bit more depth at first base, third base, and right field. We've crossed one of those boxes off, and we're still hoping that we can get Gino. Obviously, McMahon ended up going to the Yankees, so they're out. So it's going to be either the Cubs, the Tigers, or the Mariners. First pitch, Naylor grounds out to first, toe tap on the bag, and that is out number 3. And hopefully Naylor will get at least a hit in his debut at some point in the matchup, which I believe he will. Let's go, baby. Now, I wouldn't be betting on the Angels in any game in this series. Mariners are favored in every single game. Our roster is better. And even though we're on the road, we should be able to win 3 out of 4, if not sweep them. But again, we have to get the job done, with Brian Wu today, George Kirby tomorrow, Logan Gilbert on the last matchup, which would be Sunday? So again, there's a good chance in this 4-game set. Let's go, baby. The year of the Wu. 8-5 record, ERA of 2.91, Brian Wu. Leading off here in the bottom of the first inning on his bobblehead night, shortstop Zach Neto. Batting second, DHing Mike Trout. And batting third, first baseman Nolan Shonowell. Trident's up, let's go M's, and way to get the tone started early. We appreciate that. Great job by Julio Rodriguez. Let's fucking go. Julio Rodriguez is the first player in MLB history with 20 stolen bases plus, with 15 plus homers in his first 4 career seasons. So again, there's a lot of complaining and a lot of criticism, but at the end of the day, Julio is a lot better than people want to give him credit for. And if you actually look at the rest of the center fielders, that are in the MLB, Julio still is one of the best at the position, just needs to get a little bit more consistent. Lauren in the building, what's good? First pitch from Brian Wu to Zach Neto on his bobblehead day. Low and away with the 4-seam fastball, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch from Wu to Neto. Takes a strike looking, paints the corner beautifully, 97 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike from Wu to Neto. 1-1 pitch, low and away. Sinker missing the strike zone by a few inches. 2 balls and 1 strike here in the bottom of the first inning with a 1-0 Mariner lead. And again, Julio Rodriguez getting the job done early, and hopefully that'll rub off on Cal Raleigh, Randy Arozarena, and maybe even Josh Naylor. But since McMahon ended up signing, to the Yankees from the Rockies, they're out. So, for Gino, the sweepstakes as Neto gets a single to center and keeps his hot streak alive. But now it really comes down to coming back home to the Mariners, going to the Cubs, which might be his best choice, or going to the Tigers. So, again, all 3 teams are going to be playoff teams more than likely. So we'll have to wait and see. But I hope he chooses the Mariners if he has a choice. And we do have a good relationship with the Diamondbacks, with trading players back and forth with Seawald and obviously with Gino. So maybe we can get Gino back. But I know that Tigers and Cubs are salivating at the thought of getting Gino to come to their team. He would look good in a Cub uniform. I won't deny that, but I think it would be a better fit with the Cubs and Mariners rather than the Tigers. First pitch from Wu to Mike Trout, takes a strike looking on the line, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, takes another strike looking high and inside. No balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Trout. And it's great that we got some run support early for Brian Wu in this start. Last few starts have been a little shaky for some of our starting pitching staff, but again, this is a good chance to kind of get back into the groove of things where we're not playing the fucking Yankees or the Tigers or the Astros or the Brewers. We can actually play someone where, we have a good chance of winning 3 out of 4 or sweeping and kind of getting our confidence back. Got Naylor. That's one part of the puzzle. Let's get Gino back as well. 0-2 pitch. High and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mike Trout. Let's go, Woo. We need punch outs. Hopefully he can get 7 to 10 here today. 1-2 pitch from Brian Woo. High and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Woo to Mike Trout. Bottom of the first with a runner at first. Zach Neto with a single and a solo dinger by Julio Rodriguez to give us a early 1-0 lead. Homer to right center, 394 feet. Monkey Kung Fu with a 20. Appreciate you. Who will match and help us with the Dono train? Stacks. Racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. Let me know what you want to do photo-wise, if anything, and I got you. Judah in the building. We're at 20. 80 to go to hit the goal. 2-2 pitch, and that one is fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Woo to Trout. Yeah, Ty France, I'm not sure how long it's been. Ty was pretty good. Obviously got plunked a lot, and, Randy took over that role. And obviously Ty was getting older, and, we have a guy named Tyler Locklear that's, on the Tacoma Rainiers, who's kind of like, a baby version of Ty France. But getting Naylor, is definitely going to be an upgrade, from Tyler Locklear or Donovan Solano. So we'll see where it goes. But we still need a right fielder for depth unless they want to go with Dom and Demo and Rayleigh. And 2-2 pitch. And Trout strikes out swinging. There we go. Nice job by Brian Woo. Bringing the electricity early. I love it. 1 away. Next up is first baseman Nolan Shonowell. But definitely first base and third base are typically known for being power hitting positions, and definitely need Gino at third. But again, if they want to rotate, Luke Rayleigh and Dominic Canzone and Dylan Moore in right, I guess they could. The only problem I have with the Josh Naylor, swap with, we have to end up sending someone down. They ended up sending down Miles Mastroboni. Why would we send down Miles Mastroboni when you could have sent down Carlos Vargas or Dylan Moore? If you're going to go for a positional player, Dylan Moore is worthless. Miles Mastroboni actually has value, offensively and defensively. And again, if you want to keep Vargas because you need that guy in the pen, so be it. But definitely sending Dylan Moore down to AAA would have been better than Miles Mastroboni, in my opinion, and I believe most Mariner fans would agree with me. 1-0 pitch, high and away to Shonowell. 2 balls and no strikes from Woo to Shonowell. What's good, brother? How are you? Blue Jay in the building. What's good? 2-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike with a runner at first and 1 out. 1-0 Mariner lead early with a Julio Rodriguez solo dinger. Had one yesterday, got one today. And again, let's see how hot Julio can be. And again, typically after the All-Star break, he's a 300 hitter. Stats are through the roof. So again, struggles typically in March and April, has a good May, usually has a pretty good June as well, but this year not so much. And again, we'll see how the rest of July will kind of pan out. And I assume August and September and October will be very good for Julio as well. 2-1 pitch, fouled off, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Woo to Shonowell. 2-2 pitch. Low and away with the changeup, missing the strike zone there by a few inches. Count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Woo on the mound, Shonowell in the box. All day in the building. What's good? No worries. Julio hit a homer early at his first at-bat to give us the 1-0 lead, which is great. Nothing makes us, happier than seeing Julio or Cal or Randy or anybody, in the starting lineup homer in the first inning, which is fantastic. And even though Naylor didn't get a hit in his first at-bat, there's a good chance that he'll get a hit before the day is done. And we have a little bit more depth now instead of just having Donovan Solano and Luke Rayleigh. And obviously Luke is not normally a first baseman. He's just a guy that can can fill in. But still, we need Geno. Glad the Yankees got Ryan McMahon instead. So now it really comes down to the Tigers, Cubs, and Mariners for Geno's services. And we have a good relationship with the Diamondbacks. So I do think there's a very good chance that he does come home. 3-2 pitch. And there is a walk. Now we got runners at first and second on Bryan Woo. And this has been kind of a theme lately for the Mariners starting pitching, where it's been a little bit rough within the first couple innings, and then they usually settle in and settle down. But hopefully we don't give up any runs here, and we can end up getting a double play, best case scenario. Next up, left fielder in the cleanup spot, Taylor Ward. First pitch from Bryan Woo to Ward. Takes a strike swinging right down the middle, 0-1 count. I like that. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike looking with a sweeper with some heat right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 1 out. Woo on the mound, Taylor Ward in the box. Chris in the building, what's good? Trident's up, let's go M's. 0-2 pitch, big swing and a miss from Taylor Ward, and that is out number 2. Nice job by Bryan Woo. Let's go, baby. Keep wheeling and dealing and bringing that electricity. Next up is Joe Adell. First pitch for Bryan Woo to Joe Adell. Big swing and a miss, low and away, 0-1 count. I'll do the Huskies when they play the Ducks. And if they end up being on like late in a matchup where, it's like Friday night and, there's nobody really playing besides them and a few other games. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I definitely watch them very closely. I watch the Cougs, I watch the Huskies, I watch the Beavers and the Ducks. I pretty much follow everyone that was in the original Pac-12, even though, everyone has been split up, in their own separate ways. Some going to the Big Ten, some staying, some going to the Big 12 and so on and so forth. But I'm not going to do a bunch, of Husky games, but there's a chance that I might end up doing 1 or 2 before the season ends. Definitely I'm going to do Oregon and Washington if it's on the schedule, but 0-2 pitch in play. And that's a big hit by Adell back to the wall. He doubles the left, and just like that, Bryan Woo giving up a RBI double. Shanawelt scores, Neto scores, 2-1 Angels. Wow. I did not expect that. I figured that Joe Adell at some point would end up having a homer in the series or a big RBI, but I did not expect it to be right there. Big play by the Angels to not only tie it up, but take the lead. Next up, third baseman, Yoan Moncada. And we have to pray that that's all they get in this inning. We don't want to be looking up at the scoreboard down 3-4 runs early. It was great that we got the homer by Julio, but now already looking up, and doesn't look like we get to celebrate too much or too long when we play a team like the Angels. Throw the records out the window. They're going to play us just as hard as anybody in the league. They know, this rivalry means something to them. And that is out number 3. Thank God we got that final out there on Yoan Moncada. But the damage was done by Joe Adell, an RBI double that ended up scoring Neto and Nolan Shanawell. 2-1 Angels. So we've had a lot of action here early. And again, it's not always going to be a pitcher's duel. But again, hopefully Bryan Woo will be able to settle in. End of the first inning, 2-1 Angels. Next up for the Mariners in the top of the second, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Batting second, DHing in the 6th hole, Jorge Polanco. And batting third in the 7th hole, right fielder Dominic Canzone. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Yeah, baseball, Judah, as you know, it's unpredictable, just like the NBA, the NHL, and the NFL and college football. Just because a team's got a better record and they're the better team doesn't mean that they're going to win. And again, you just don't know what team is going to show up. Is it going to be the best version of that, really good team, or are they going to have an off game, and kind of shit the bed, and anybody can beat anyone on any given day. But again, when you end up having that many, for sure kind of felt like locks, and then none of them end up hitting, I can definitely feel your pain. End of the first inning, 2-1, Angels lead. Gained a sub already, which is fantastic. 47 to go to hit 21,200. The goal will be 100 likes and 100 on the Dono train. Yeah, Randy's been fantastic since June 11th, and he's been a pretty decent player. At the beginning of the year, I mean, there definitely was something that was kind of left to be desired. The same thing could have been said for Julio and a lot of our guys. But, Randy is one of those guys that's streaky. He will strike out, quite a bit, like Julio. But when he gets hot, he's very, very hot. And again, he's one of those guys on any given day. He can hit a homer or two, just like Julio and Cal. So it's nice to be able to have those three power hitters. And then if you get home runs by anybody else, that's just a cherry on top. First pitch takes a strike swinging, low and out the knees to Randy Arozarena, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and away with that slider. 1 ball and 1 strike from Soriano to Randy Arozarena. 1-1 pitch, high and away with that slider, 96 miles an hour to Randy Arozarena. 2 balls and 1 strike from Soriano to Randy. Come on, Randy. 2-1 pitch, low and away with the sinker. Count now is 3 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. 3-1 pitch in play. Slow dribbler. Nope. Hit by pitch. Ooh. I figured it would be something like a slow dribbler based on the anticipation of the swing, but Randy is definitely taking that role of getting plunked more than any player on the Mariners, just like Ty France was the guy. Randy has taken that role, and as long as he's not hurt, we're good to go. Looks like he shakes it off, and he's good. Next up, DHing for the Mariners in the 6th hole, Jorge Polanco. Let's go, Polo. And Polo's one of those guys that, he might not be as consistent as Randy, Julio, and Cal for homers. But again, remember, he did have 9 homers and was batting like 350 to 450 in April. Hasn't hit too many since then, but he definitely can get into the groove at some point or another. First pitch from Soriano to Polo. Takes a strike looking right down the middle with a knuckle curve, 0-1 count. Yeah, everything has to be looked at, factor-wise. Who's pitching? Is it home or away? How has the team been playing lately? But even with that being said, if you're, taking a look at their, ERA and the win-loss record and, the lineup, for one team compared to the other, even with all of the due diligence done, still you may lose, based on just the other team having a great game or the other, team that you bet on having a fucking meltdown at some point or another by, the starter or the bullpen. First pitch takes a strike looking right down the middle of the Polo, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch takes another strike looking right down the middle with that sinker. Knuckle curve first, sinker second. No balls and 2 strikes to Jorge Polanco. Come on, Polo. Yeah, I mean, really the only trend that you can for sure win is like, when you get like the White Sox like last year losing like 20 games in a row. Then if you end up betting on a team that's shitty and then they continue to keep losing, that might be like your most for sure type of bet. But if it isn't something like that, there's always going to be a chance that you lose. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Soriano to Polo. Let's go, Polo. Come on, baby. Top of the second inning, 2-1 Angels, 1-2 pitch. And grounds out to second, and that is 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, right fielder Dominic Canzone. First pitch from Jose Soriano, low and away with the sinker, 1-0 count. 7-7 record with an ERA of 3.83, so nothing really to get too worked up about, but we definitely want to make sure we're getting that 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. And again, we want to make sure we're, getting, good chances early to kind of set the tone. One-0 pitch. Takes a big swing and a miss, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Soriano to Dominic Canzone. We need a Dom bomb, baby. 1-1 pitch. Low and away with the splitter by Soriano, 92 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike from Soriano to Canzone. Come on, baby. It's going to be a battle all series. Two-one pitch. Low and away with the sinker, 97 miles an hour by Soriano. 3 balls and 1 strike with a runner at second and 1 out. Angels with a early 2-1 lead here in the top of the second. And we're at 20 at the Dono train, 80 to go to hit the goal. 3-1 pitch, and that's a walk. There we go. Nice eyes by Dominic Canzone. Almost every single pitch out of those 5 were out of the strike zone. And again, if he didn't swing at pitch number 2, maybe he would have been walked in 4 straight pitches. But either way, we're going to take a walk. Great job by Dom. Next up is third baseman Ben Williamson. Let's go, Big Ben. Let's see if we can get an RBI here. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. But I like the chances of, winning 3 out of 4 in this series. And if we win the first 3 games, obviously Logan Gilbert will be pitching the last game on Sunday. So we got Kirby tomorrow and then Gilbert on Sunday. So really the one that will be interesting will be tomorrow with Kirby. But again, even with Brian Wu being our ace, we're in a hole early. And hopefully that will be the only 2 runs that he gives up here in 6 or 7 innings. Mound visit by the Angels, trying to figure out a strategy on how to pitch to Big Ben. I mean, he is essentially a rookie from AAA, so I'm not really sure if the meeting with him, obviously throwing 5 straight balls, that might do it. So first pitch from Soriano to Williamson, paints the corner, high and inside, knuckle curve, gets the strike call by the ump, 0-1 count. Top of the second inning, runners at first and second and 1 out. Angels with a early 2-1 lead. Julio Rodriguez with a home run early to give us a 1-0 lead, but then Joe Adell with a 2-run RBI double, scoring Shawnuel and Neto in the bottom of the first, and they reclaim the lead 2-1. 0-1 pitch, takes the strike looking right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes from Soriano to Ben Williamson. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Come on, baby. Got to be smart here. 0-2 pitch. Low and away with that slider. 90 miles an hour by Soriano. Missing the strike zone by a couple feet. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Soriano to Big Ben. Let's go, baby. So Miles Mastrobuoni sent down to AAA for Josh Naylor, hoping that it would be someone else. Williamson grounds out to second, and that is out number 2. Canzone to second, Arozarena to third. All right, here we go. We got a good opportunity for Cole Young to get an RBI single to tie the game up. If he gets an RBI double, we go up 3-2. Let's go Cole. And I don't think anyone expects Cole to homer here. He's more of a singles hitter, but again, he'll hit probably, 4 to 7 home runs for the season. Only has a couple, so far. So obviously had that home run at New York. First pitch from Cole Young. Takes a strike looking right down the middle with the knuckle curve from Soriano. 0-1 count. What's good? 0-1 pitch. Foul ball, fouled off, high and away. No balls and 2 strikes with runners at second and third and 2 outs. All we need is a single here by Cole Young, and we can tie it up 2-2. If he ends up getting a double, we can go up 3-2. If we homer, then we end up going up 4-2. But, I don't think anyone is anticipating Cole Young. I mean, he only has 2 homers, and he'll probably end with, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, somewhere in that range. And down goes Cole Young. He's not able to get the RBI that we needed. That is out number 3. But at least we're getting guys on early and often, and eventually we will get those guys to come home. Let's go to the bottom of the second inning and see who's up next for the Angels. Next up for the Angels in the 7-hole, catching today for Los Angeles, Logan O'Hoppe. Batting second, right fielder, the former Dodger, Chris Taylor. And batting third in the 9-hole, second baseman, Luis Rengifo. On the mound will be Brian Wu. Let's go, baby. We need the good Wu, not the shaky Wu. Let's go. Gained another sub. That's 2 so far. Let's go, baby. $46 subs to go to get to 21,200. Where are we sitting on the likes all day, Captain? If Captain's in the building, not sure if he is. I know all day is. Where are we sitting there? We got 93, almost 100 in the building. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day. We're off to a good start here early. We're almost at 50 likes already, which is good for a good start. The goal is 100 and 100. So it looks like we're at 45. 5 more to go to be able to get to 50. And we have at least half of the people in the room that have hit the like button. If we had everyone, we'd be close to our goal already. 2-1 Angel lead here in the bottom of the second. And a nice punch out there from Jose Soriano on Cole Young. I see you, Jose. Try to ends up. Let's go M's. First pitch from Brian Wu to Logan O'Hoppe. Takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Fouls that one off high and away. Finding the count now, no balls and 2 strikes. Well, that was, one sec here. Let me refresh everything. One moment. All right, that first one was a ball, because I was about to say, I'm pretty sure that was a ball there instead of calling it a strike, but let's see if they have anything readjusted. Okay, yeah, it was. 1 ball and 1 strike from Wu to O'Hoppe. I was about to say, I don't think it was 2 strikes there, but again, these umps nowadays aren't the greatest. One pitch in play, and O'Hoppe all the way back to the wall, and that's going to be a sliding headfirst double, and he is safe. Not too good here early for Brian Wu. Next up is Chris Taylor. First pitch, high and inside with a 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour, 1-0 count. And I don't know what the deal is, with our starting pitching, being so shaky lately. We can afford once in a while for our bullpen, to be on the ropes a little bit, but we can't afford for our starting pitching, to be bad. Especially when you got names like, Wu and Gilbert and Kirby and Castillo and Evans. And, you want to make sure that all these guys, do their job. But, sometimes the other team gets hot at the right time. Got to give them credit too. 1-0 pitch, fouls one off, high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at second and no outs. 2-1 Angel lead here early in the bottom of the second. Woo on the mound, Taylor in the box. 1-1 pitch, in play, and popped out to first. 1 away. There we go. Down goes Taylor with the pop-up, and Naylor is there for out number 1. Great to have a lefty at first, and just have another lefty in the lineup for that matter. Next up is second baseman Luis Rengifo. Let him know, brother. You're doing a great job. And again, it's one of those things I have to multitask and do so many things at once, watching 2 screens for the game, a couple different screens for stats and analytics, the stream itself, the chat, and I appreciate all the, hard work that you put in, and I really do appreciate you. First pitch from Wood at Rengifo. Takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, in play, and Rengifo flies out to left. Thank God, 2 away. Now back at the top of the order on his bobblehead night. 1 for 1 with a run. Shortstop, Zach Neto. And you obviously know most individuals, when they have a bobblehead night, they typically play well. They're not going to necessarily homer every time on their bobblehead night, but usually most players end up playing well. Gives them that extra motivation. First pitch from Wu to Neto. Fouls it off right down the middle with the sinker, 97 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Yeah, Naylor is a good player. I mean, he was a good player, for the Guardians. He was a good player, for the Diamondbacks. And, just the simple fact that he's on the Diamondbacks and we, have been a good trade partner with them, with Seawald and other players in the past, which gives me hope that Gino could come back. It's between us, the Cubs, and the Tigers. The Yankees were in the mix, but they picked up Ryan McMahon from the Rockies this morning. So they're out for a third baseman since they got McMahon. So, Tigers, Cubs, Mariners, come back home, Gino. And if Gino comes back, the lineup is looking really sexy with Naylor. But if we get Gino also, we're going to have one of the best lineups from 1 to 9 in the American League. 0-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle to Neto. No balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Neto. 0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Wu to Neto. Bottom of the second inning, 2-1 Angel lead with a runner at second. There we go. We're at 50 more to go to hit the goal. We can do it. And shout out to all the individuals watching from all over the globe. It's just mind-blowing how many countries are invested in this channel, and I appreciate that very, very much. And down goes Neto for out number 3. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Agreed. If we do add Gino, we could make a deep run. Think about how many home run hitters that we would have in the lineup. Plus it also gives us a good player offensively and defensively, at third base. Obviously, it wouldn't be the greatest thing for Ben Williamson or Miles Mastrobuoni, but now Miles got sent down to AAA for Josh Naylor. But why didn't we send down Dylan Moore instead? If you're going to choose a player, choose a shitty one, not a good one. Miles Mastrobuoni is a pretty good player. He could start, on maybe a third of the teams in the MLB, and he's a really good backup. He's one of the better backups that we've seen on the Mariners in quite some time. He actually can help you win games, offensively and defensively. Demo ain't going to do shit for you offensively or defensively. He's a liability. So if it was, my choice, I would have sent down Carlos Vargas if we had the choice. But Dylan Moore probably would have been my first choice just based off positional player for positional player, because usually they'll do pitcher for pitcher and then positional player for positional player. But, it is what it is. Hopefully we get Miles to get called back up at some point. But again, it's not like he was a starter anyways. We know Naylor will be more valuable. But again, Naylor for Mastrobuoni or Naylor for Demo? Could have been a little bit better there, but again, this is the Seattle Mariners. All right, let's go to the top of the third inning with a 2-1 Angel lead. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Dropped the bunt down. They will never suspect it. Batting second with a home run with his first at-bat, Julio Rodriguez. Back-to-back games with homers. He's getting hot, hot, hot. He's on fire. And batting third, a guy that we need to get on fire and bring that electricity. We need home run number 40, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let's go. Come on, Cal. And again, we'll take singles. No problem with that. We'll take doubles. We'll take the occasional big dumper triple, but we're looking for the tridents up. We're looking for the homer. And again, after the home run derby win and the MLB All-Star game, it seems like it's taking him a little bit longer to get into a rhythm, but he already has one home run post the All-Star break. Now we just need him to get to 40, and we might be able to get that, here today. Yeah, Tony, it happens. Anybody can beat anyone in the division. Astros are, the top dog. The A's are at the bottom, but again, if, Brent Rooker and Lawrence Butler have good games, or they end up having a kind of meltdown at some point, Astros pen, shit can happen. But yeah, definitely, not what people thought. If you look at a lot of the scores today, a lot of upsets. I think the Mariners can come back and win. It's kind of in our DNA. We're not always going to be leading. And again, we got Naylor in the lineup, and so, we'll see what happens. 2-1 pitch to JP, dribbler towards first, and a toe tap on the bag, and that is out number 1. Just wish that JP would drop a bunt down, and I know bunting is not really a thing that teams do anymore, but again, if we were to do it, again, most of the time, if you drop it down effectively, you're going to be safe like 80-90% of the time. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. First pitch, low and inside at the hips with the knuckle curve, 1-0 count. Julio Rodriguez has been hot, hot, hot lately, and we need him to be. 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss, high and away, 1 ball and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez, who already has a home run in his first at-bat, which is great because it's better to be down 2-1 rather than 2-0. 1-1 pitch, knuckle curve, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Soriano to Julio Rodriguez. And again, Julio Rodriguez is the first MLB player in history of the game with 20-plus stolen bases and 15-plus home runs in his first 4 career seasons. Nobody has done it in the game. So for all the bitching and the moaning and the complaining, that all Mariner fans did, including myself, at the beginning of the year, I don't think a lot of people realize how good Julio is offensively and defensively. He may not be Ken Griffey Jr., and that's okay. 3-1 pitch in play, and Julio deep, back, and in play, and that is out number 2. Deep fly out for Julio, but at least we know he's connecting on the long ball. And again, he started doing that drill that Cal was doing by having a baseball kind of on a stand, but it's elevated. So that way that you're actually having to swing upwards instead of actually swinging downwards, where that's where a lot of Julio's ground balls and infield, baseballs were going. And again, his hard hit rate was pretty good, but he just wasn't getting it past the infield at the beginning of the year. And now you're starting to see Julio drive that ball deep and pull the baseball into left field or right field, depending on who's pitching to him. And I like what I'm seeing so far with Julio Rodriguez. Next up is big dumper Cal Raleigh. Top of the third, 2-1 Angel lead. First pitch from Jose Soriano. Fouls that one off with the sinker, low and away, 0-1 count. Let's go, big dumper. We're looking for home run number 40. Let's go, baby. Tridents up. We'll take a single and double if we can get that as well. And I got Logan O'Hoppe is on the ground as that one ended up foul tipping off his ankle and then maybe into his groin. Hopefully Logan O'Hoppe is okay. Catchers are such, underrated athletes. I mean, it's the hardest position to play in baseball, period. And again, it's hard to be a leader. It's hard to be a good defensive catcher and throw guys out from the knees at first, second, and third. It's hard to be able to be a good mentor, to be able to make sure the starters and the, bullpen are on good spirits. And then on top of that, they have to hit, And so to look at someone like Cal Raleigh, that's, doing it from the left side, the right side, singles hitting and power on top of all the leadership and everything else that he brings to the team. And Ohapi is still on the ground wincing in pain like he broke his ankle. I hope he's okay, but that does not look good. Because normally when you end up having a foul tip, right, and it ends up hitting bone or skin, usually the guy shakes it off and eventually gets up, but he is still on the ground. And you got two trainers over there. The manager is there. I mean, he's wincing. He's grinding his teeth. And usually when something like that happens, it's a little bit more serious. I mean, he can't even stand up. Hopefully his ankle isn't broken or maybe chipped, maybe had a bone fragment in his ankle chipped off from that baseball. But Cal got a foul tip and then it bounced off the top of the ankle there, and then it ended up going into his groin, but I don't think the groin part really hurt him because obviously you wear a cup in baseball, but that one spot that's right at the top of your shoe and like where your socks go, and then obviously if you end up having the rest of your baseball gear, I mean it literally hit him right in the sweet spot where there's no padding. And again, Cal had one there from Mike Trout that deflected off him too, and when you get it underneath into the neck, or any part of your body, these guys are really tough sons of bitches. And I have so much respect for catchers. Hopefully they're okay. Megan in the building. How are you? And Ohapi is still down. So obviously this is a lot more serious than first anticipated. I don't know if he'll be able to come back. Let's see. He finally leans over. Manager is with him. Trainer is with him. The crowd gives him a little standing ovation there. And he's trying to convince the team that he's okay, which most catchers would do in that situation as well. Soriano checking up on him as well. Now he's trying to walk it off. Man, Logan is tough. Especially if it ended up, hitting that spot where there's no padding. And now he's going to try to take a couple, just warm up pitches from Soriano to see if he actually can do it or not. Think about the pain that you would have to be in when you're, crouching down as well. I mean, offensive linemen don't get the love in football. A lot of players on defense don't get that love. Special teams doesn't get love. And obviously the equivalent to offensive line not getting love in football is catchers in baseball. And again, you can't win without an offensive line, and you can't win without a good catcher most of the time. 0-1 pitch, and big dumper flies up and flies out for out number 3. Looks like Logan Ohapi will play injured, and hopefully he'll be okay. Let's go to the bottom of the third inning with the Angels 2-1 lead. Next up for Los Angeles, 0 for 1 with a K, the future first ballot Hall of Famer, Mike Trout. Batting second, 0 for 0 with a run and a base on ball, first baseman Nolan Shonowell. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K, left fielder Taylor Ward. Trident's up, let's go M's. Let's do a quick recap in the matchup if you're just tuning in. So in the top of the first inning, Julio Rodriguez homered to right center, 394 feet, 1-0 Mariners. Then in the bottom of the first, Brian Wu was getting roughed up a little early with a few hits. And then Joe Adele ended up hitting a double to left. And Shonowell and Neto scored. and it ended up being 2-1 Los Angeles. So at this point, 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Angels. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors for the Mariners. And hopefully we'll be able to get some others to produce other than just Julio Rodriguez. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Yeah, there was no flopping. Anna in the building, what's good? Uncle in the building, what's good? Yeah, this isn't like football, you know, when you end up wanting to slow the momentum down and people fake an injury and lay on the ground so that way that, you know, the other team has to, you know, not be able to hurry up and score. That doesn't happen in baseball. Nice try, though. And if you actually were watching the game, you would know that, too. Bottom of the 3rd inning, 2-1 Los Angeles. Mike Trout in the box. Brian Wu on the mound. There we go. We're at 60. 40 more to go to hit the goal. Let's get it, baby. First pitch outside to Mike Trout. 1-0 count. One-0 pitch in play and popped out to first. Naylor is there. 1 away. Next up, first baseman 0 for 0 with a run and a base on ball, Nolan Shonowell. First pitch from Brian Wu to Shonowell, high and away with a 4-seam fastball, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch in play and pulls that baseball into left for a single. Nice hit there by Nolan Shonowell. Yeah, I mean, I think the Mariners can win every game in this series. I mean, again, after playing, you know, the Yankees in the Bronx and the Tigers in Detroit, and then having the All-Star, you know, festivities with the Home Run Derby won by Cal, and then the MLB All-Star game, and then having to play the Astros and the Brewers. Obviously, the Angels are not on the level of those 4 teams. And so, you know, we should be able to win 3 games out of 4. But if we win the first 3 games, Logan Gilbert is pitching on Sunday. So, you know, we'll definitely have a chance. But, you know, there should not be a scenario where we only win like a game against the Angels or 2. We shouldn't split against this team. We should be able to win a minimum of 3 if, you know, the starting pitching is good, the bullpen doesn't have a fucking meltdown in the series. Which will be hard to do. And then obviously we have to have the bats come alive. 1-0 pitch. Inside with that sweeper to Taylor Ward. 2 balls and no strikes from Wu to Ward. Bottom of the 3rd inning. 2-1 Angel lead with a runner at first and 1 out. 2-0 pitch. Fouled off high and inside with that sinker, 96 miles an hour by Brian Wu. 2 balls and 1 strike with a runner at first and 1 out. 2-1 Angel lead. There's a 0% chance the Mariners only score 1 today. At the very, very least, we'll get to 2, but I still think that we'll have a very good chance to get to 5. You know, a lot of times, you know, it'll look a little bleak for the Mariners where we're sitting at, you know, a 1-0 deficit or we're down 2-1 like this. And all it takes is 1 meltdown by their pitching staff. And then we can score 1 to 4 runs in 1 single inning and then just kind of take off. So, you know, and Wu has been a little shaky, but a lot of our starters have been shaky in 2025. I mean, we have had the most injuries to the Mariners this year compared to maybe the last 10 or 15 years. So, you know, most teams wouldn't be able to survive with 3 out of their 5 starters missing time, you know, with Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, and Bryce Miller. So we're trying to just stay afloat. Hopefully we get Gino. We got Naylor, and we still need a couple guys in the pen. 2-1 pitch, fouled off, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Wu to Ward. 2-2 pitch, Big swing and a miss, and Brian Wu strikes out Ward. There we go, baby. 2 away. Way to bring that electricity, Brian Wu. My boy. Next up is Joe Adell. Had a 2-run RBI double to give him the 2-1 lead in the first inning. Wu on the mound. Adell in the box. First pitch from Brian Wu. Big swing and a miss, low and away from Joe Adell. 0-1 count. I mean, it really depends on where you live. You know, it's if you live in the Pacific Northwest for Oregon and Washington, then it's going to be on Root Sports. You know, obviously, if you live in the Los Angeles area, it'll be whatever local Los Angeles channel for the Angels in that particular area. 0-1 pitch, low and away. Sweeper missing the strike zone by a couple feet. 1 ball and 1 strike from Wu to Adell. 1-1 pitch, high and away with that sinker. 96 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Wu to Adell. So if you're in Washington, it should be on Root Sports. If you don't have Root Sports, then obviously you would have to, stream it. 2-2 pitch, fouled off, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with the runner at first and 2 outs. Angels hanging on to a 2-1 lead, and hopefully Wu will be able to settle in. Bottom of the 3rd inning, runner at first with 2 outs. We just need Wu to get out of this inning here unscathed. Got to keep it 3 runs or less given up by every starter. And then obviously we need the bats to come alive at some point here. Julio hit a home run, but we need others. 2-2 pitch. Low and at the knees with the sinker. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning. 2-1 Angel lead. Come on, Wu. 3-2 pitch. And that one's fouled off high and away with the sweeper. 87 miles an hour by Wu. Count still full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, runner at first and 2 outs. Angels hanging on to a 1-run lead. Oh, deep foul ball. 3-2 pitch, and Adell strikes out. There we go. Nice job by Brian Wu with the punch out, baby. Here we go. Nice job, baby. Way to bring that electricity. You were a little shaky in that first inning, but pretty much every pitcher on the Mariners, whether it be Wu, Gilbert, Kirby, Castillo, or Evans, has been showing signs of, a little rust, early in the first maybe couple innings, and then after that typically settles down and settles in. And that's the same thing that we're getting here today. End of the 3rd inning, 2-1 Angels. Let's go to the top of the 4th, and let's tie the game up or take the lead. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1. Welcome to the Seattle Mariners. From the Arizona Diamondbacks, first baseman Josh Naylor. Let's get a homer or a single Naylor. Let's go, Josh. Batting second, left fielder, 0 for 0, Randy Arozarena. We definitely need Polo to hit a homer, but we're looking for Randy to do the same. And batting third, DHing in the 6 hole, Jorge Polanco. Let's go, baby. Naylor, Randy, Polo. Let's go. Yeah, Brandon Garcia, that lefty that we called up a couple days ago, that sucked. and then a guy that's just in the farm system. So, even if it ends up being just like a rental, because a lot of times, teams want to get rid of salary, even if the player is good, so they don't have to, worry about paying that player in the future. But it's pretty much two players that we're never going to do anything for Seattle anyways. So if we have to give up two, I don't want to say garbage players, but two guys that are just farm prospects, for a guy that's already proven, even if it ends up being just a 1-year rental. But, if he plays well and, they can come to an agreement, maybe he'll end up being the first baseman of the future for Seattle. We don't really know at this point, but, at the very least, even as a rental, it was definitely worth the deal. Now we just got to hope that we can get Geno as well. Yankees signed Ryan McMahon from the Rockies, so Yankees are out. So now it's down to only 3 teams, supposedly. The Mariners, the Cubs, and the Tigers are the main 3 that are still looking for third base. And I imagine there's a few other, teams that will put their, hat in the mix. But those were the 4 main that, MLB Network and a lot of the insiders have been talking about. So. First pitch to Josh Naylor. Low and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Soriano to Josh Naylor. Come on, Josh. Need that first hit. 1-1 pitch, and that one's fouled off right down the middle with the splitter, 92 miles an hour by Soriano. 1 ball and 2 strikes to our new Seattle Mariner, Josh Naylor. Julio got one, obviously, today. 1-2 pitch, and big swing and a miss by Naylor, getting baited low and away, and that is out number 1. Next up is Randy Arozarena. Sometimes I just have to feel it. I'll kind of take a look on, body posture, swagger, aura, vibe, how they've been doing lately, and also kind of just looking at the pitches, on how they're pitching that certain individual. But again, I haven't really had a feeling today, at least not this early in the matchup. Even Julio's homer, I wasn't expecting that. So, it's nice to get surprised once in a while. First pitch to Randy Arozarena, and a nice little bloop single to right. There we go. But if I do feel it, you'll know, because I'll definitely make the prediction. Nice job by Randy. Next up is Jorge Polanco, who's 0 for 1, top of the 4th inning, 2-1 Angel lead. Let's go, Polo. Yeah, but that's not the first time that's happened on the channel. We do it pretty regularly here. First pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. Sinker, 97 miles an hour, paints the corner beautifully, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes from Soriano to Polo. And Polo is overdue. Just don't know if it's going to be here at this at-bat, but it would be amazing if it was. It would give us that 3-2 lead. And Cal is definitely overdue, so you have to assume Cal will homer, either today, tomorrow, or Sunday. If we're lucky, we can get him to homer, twice, in the 3 games, but, who knows when that will be, though. We're looking for home run number 40 for Big Dumper. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away, behind the count now, 0-2 to Soriano. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees with the splitter. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out, top of the 4th inning, 2-1 Angel lead. 1-2 pitch, high and away with the knuckle curve, fouled off by Jorge Polanco. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Come on, Polo. We don't necessarily even need a home run. We'll take a single. Just get on base. Come on, Polo. Top of the 4th inning, 2-1 Angels. Got to tie it up, baby. Let's go. Bring that electricity, Polo. And he's grinding. 1-2 pitch. Fouled off again. Low and inside at the hips. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to our goal of 100 likes and 100 on the Dono train. We're at 20 on the Dono train, 80 to go.
Oh my gosh.
0 for 1 with a ground out in the second for Polo. Soriano takes a long time. Little slow dribbler. Throw to first. And got him. Pushing the runner, Randy Arozarena, from first to second with the sack. All right, here we go. Next up in the 7-hole, right fielder, Dominic Canzone. I mean, I'd love to have a Dom bomb right here. Let's go, Canzone. Single, double, home run. I mean, a walk, we'll take anything. And now they're having a mound visit with Soriano. And Soriano is taking a long time in between pitches. So they're trying to monitor to see if he's got some kind of injury or if he's fatigued. But had that line drive go back and hit him. And obviously it looks like he's just shaking it off. And that's also been a common thing that we've seen lately as well. Hitters line drive, exit velo 100 to 110 right back to the pitcher in their head, their upper body or lower body. You definitely got to keep your head on a swivel. First pitch from Soriano to Canzone. Fouls it off low and away. 0-1 count. Oh-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Dominic Canzone. And it looks like we're at 71, now 72. 28 more likes to go to hit the goal. Let's go, baby. 3 more to get to 75. 1-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 2 outs. 2-1 Angel lead. And again, we have the Julio home run, but we need others to step up. And it's been, a few at-bats, since we've seen Cal homer. And hopefully he ends up homering today. 1-2 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 2 outs. Top of the 4th, 2-1 Angel lead. Come on, baby. Let's go, Dom.
Oh my gosh.
1-2 pitch, and Canzone grounds out to the shortstop, throw to first, and that is out number 3. So still having a little bit of a tough time getting into some rhythm here against Soriano, but once the starters go out, maybe the game will open up. That's typically what happens. 2 hits only for the Mariners so far, but at least one of them was a home run by Julio, so we have to be positive. And they have 2 runs on 4 hits, so it's not like we're down by 3 or 4 runs. But again, we are just waiting for the game to open up, and we know there's going to be a meltdown by a bullpen or both bullpens at some point. Let's go to the bottom of the 4th and see who's up next here for the Angels. Next up for the Angels, 0 for 1 in the 6th hole, third baseman Yohan Moncada. Batting second, 1 for 1, catcher Logan O'Hoppe. Hopefully he's okay with the ankle. And batting third, the former Dodger right fielder, Chris Taylor. Brian Wu on the mound. Let's take a quick look at some of the stats here for the pitchers. So far with Brian Wu, 3 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks, 53 pitches with 34 strikes. ERA is 2.98. And then let's take a look at Jose Soriano, 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 3 Ks, 58 pitches, 38 strikes, 3.77 ERA. So, not a insane pitcher's duel. One guy's got 4 Ks, Wu. Soriano's got 3. But again, there's been a little bit of, good pitching play. But there's also been some hits that have allowed a home run and a big RBI double early in the matchup. But that was in the first inning, and we're waiting to be able to see if we can tie it up sooner than later. Trident's up. Let's go M's. First pitch from Brian Wu to Yohan Moncada. Takes a strike looking high and away, 0-1 count. Come on, baby. Keep wheeling and dealing, Wu. Oh, 1 pitch. In play, grounds out to first, taps the bag, and that is 1 away. Good defense there by the Mariners. And you're seeing Naylor being pretty active early, at least defensively. He's 0 for 2 in the box, but hopefully he gets at least a hit in his first game. Next up, catcher in the 7-hole, Logan O'Hoppe. Bottom of the 4th inning, 2-1 Angel lead. And after that rough first inning for Brian Wu, he has settled down quite a bit, which has kind of been a trend for our pitchers in 2025 for whatever reason. But I guess there's always going to have to be, some kind of pushback. Before, we had really good pitching and shitty hitting. Now we have really good hitting and kind of shitty pitching. And the bullpen is kind of sus as well. 1-0 pitch. And that one's in play and lined out to right. Dominic Canzone is there. 2 away. Nice job by Brian Wu. Next up for Brian Wu, 0 for 1, Chris Taylor. All right, we hit 75 likes, 25 more to hit the goal. Let's go, baby. We're at 75, 25 to go. And we're at 20 on the Dono train, 80 to go. First pitch from Wu to Taylor. Takes a strike looking low and at the knees. 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch in play and fouled out at first. Naylor is there. He's active on defense, and that is out number 3. End of the 4th inning, 2-1 Angels. Let's go to the top of the 5th and let's tie this game up. And we gained 4 more subs here today. $42 more subs to get to 21,200. And we've already gained 6-7 subs in this stream alone. Usually about 5 to 15 per stream. So shout out to all the new subs that have newly subbed to the channel, not only today, but in 2025. Appreciate you. Next up for the Mariners, here in the top of the 5th, 0 for 1, third baseman, Ben Williamson. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a K in the 9-hole, Cole Young. And batting third, 0 for 2, JP Crawford. Somebody's got to drop a bunt down between Williamson, Young, and JP. And I know it's not a sexy thing to do, but it can work, especially when we're only down 1. You got to look outside the box sometimes. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Let them know. 75, 25 more to go. I didn't know when you were going to be back, so I figured I'd do that for you. First pitch from Jose Soriano to Big Ben Williamson, high and inside with the knuckle curve, 82 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Come on, Big Ben. Got to be able to have these three singles hitters, do something. Zay in the building. What's good, brother? 1-0 pitch, knuckle curve, high and inside, 2 balls and no strikes to Ben Williamson. I mean, if we can get a single by Williamson, Cole, and JP, I mean, that could score a run right there. But, in baseball, it's hard to get 3 hits in a row. It's not easy. It's like, you have to have the right pitcher with the right pitch, and you have to have the right batters in the right inning, and that's why there's so many, stranded, guys on base every game, because it's just really tough. You can get the home runs here and there, but to be able to get 3, 4, 5 in a row hit-wise is not easy. I mean, unless you have a pitcher that's, throwing a fucking meltdown. 2-0 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 1 strike from Soriano to Williamson. Come on, Big Ben, baby. Top of the 5th, we're down by a run, but we still feel like, again, this is going to be a little bit, I don't want to say easier, but again, a little bit more manageable. And Williamson grounds out on the 2-1 pitch to second, throw to first, 1 away. But obviously playing the Yankees, the Tigers, the Astros, and Brewers, all playoff teams, and obviously playing an Angel team that won't be in the playoffs, but they still play us as if they were a playoff team that still had Trout and Ohtani in their prime. And that's I can respect that. That's why the rivalry is so good. The record goes out the window when we play them. They always play us tough. Next up is Cole Young. First pitch from Soriano to Young, knuckle curve, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Got to make Soriano pay. Hey, let's go. One-0 pitch. In play. Grounds out to the pitcher. Throw to first. 2 away. Come on, Mariners. Should have had Williamson or Young bunt. And now with JP with 2 outs, you can't bunt because obviously that wouldn't be based off strategy-wise. And hopefully JP will get a single, double, triple, and he's due for a home run. Now, I don't know if he'll be able to get one in this game, but it would be nice if we could get someone that's unexpected to help us. Obviously Julio homering was unexpected, but we know that Julio has the ability to do it every game. Julio, Cal, as well as Randy Arozarena. So first pitch, low and at the knees to JP Crawford, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, low and away, 2 balls and no strikes to JP Crawford. I mean, at this point, we might be able to get a walk out of JP, and he's patient enough to take it. 2-0 pitch, takes a strike looking low and away, and that's outside of the strike zone. It should be 3 balls and no strike, not 2 balls and 1 strike. Bad call by the ump, but we'll see what JP does here on pitch number 4. Unbelievable they called that a strike. 2-1 pitch, and another pitch outside of the strike zone called strike. Unbelievable. Should have been a 4-pitch walk, and instead it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Come on. We haven't really complained about the ump up to this point, but back-to-back horrible calls there. We should have had a 4-pitch walk with 2 outs, and Julio would have been up next. Now we have to hope that JP doesn't strike out looking or swinging. Top of the 5th inning, 2-1 Angels. 2-2 pitch, in play, grounds out to the shortstop, throw to first, and unfortunately that is out number 3. We get robbed of a walk that leads into a dribbler and a throw to first for an out. Brutal. But hopefully that'll be the last time that I complain about the umps, but with umping the way that it is, that is far from likely. Let's go to the bottom of the 5th inning and see who's up next for the Angels. Next up for the Angels in the 9-hole, 0 for 1, second baseman Luis Rengifo. Batting second, 1 for 2 with a run on his bobblehead night, shortstop Zach Neto. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K, the future first ballot Hall of Famer, DHing Mike Trout. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Yeah, and I don't know what's been going on with JP lately. Even defensively, he's been a little shaky. A few games back, he had an error, and then he had 3 other balls go past him that he normally would have easily had, an out or a double play attempt. It was probably the worst defensive game I've seen from him in maybe a year or two. And I'm not sure what's going on with him. It's not like Victor Robles is back and now JP's in the 9-hole. Again, I know that mentally, maybe hurt him a little bit, for his confidence and swagger, being the leadoff guy like Ichiro for many years. And then we bring in Victor Robles and it takes his spot. But realistically, Victor is the better leadoff hitter and one of the best players on the team. And again, we have not really been the same team since Victor got hurt in the Giants series in San Francisco at the beginning of the year. But, he may come back in September, right before the playoff push, which would be awesome, but we don't want to rush him. But hopefully JP can get back to being the player that we know he can be. First pitch from Wu to Rengifo, takes a strike looking high and away, 0-1 count. But again, when you have Williamson, Cole, and JP that are all, for the most part, singles hitters, you need those guys to get singles. And again, nothing there for the Mariners, but I still got confidence after Wu and Soriano go out. The bullpens, should have a meltdown. And hopefully, it'll be the Angels bullpen that has the meltdown, not the Mariners. But it all depends on who comes in. Vargas, Thornton, Snyder, Legumina, if it's like one of those, or if we end up bringing in a good individual like a Brash or a Bizzardo. But again, a lot of those guys pitched yesterday, so we'll see. 1-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Wu to Rengifo. And again, now this ump is doing makeup calls from the previous inning there. Wu, with 2 out of his 3 pitches, should have been called ball. So it should be a 3-0 count. Instead, it's 1-2. So I don't know if that's just how he's going to call the strike zone outside the rest of the game. But definitely not in the box, for those last few pitches. 1-2 pitch. In play and lined out to left, and that is 1 away. Down goes Luis Rengifo. Nice job by Brian Wu. Next up here in the bottom of the 5th with 1 out. Bobblehead night, 1 for 2 with a run, Zach Neto. First pitch from Wu to Neto, takes a strike swinging low and away, 0-1 count. Wow. Nick Kurtz has been, even prior to today, he's been on a heater. But wow, 6 for 6, 4 homers and a double. Incredible. I mean, we know Eugenio Suarez had 4 home runs in 1 game. But I don't know if he went 6 for 6 that game. I don't think he did. First pitch. Takes a strike swinging low and away to Neto, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and inside with the sinker. 1 ball and 1 strike from Wu to Neto. That's incredible, Judah. And he's not even the best player on the team. You got Lawrence Butler, you got Brent Rooker, and then you got Jacob Wilson, who might win Rookie of the Year. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, low and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Wu on the mound, Neto in the box. One of Houston's pitchers' ERA is 36. Oh, my. Well, anytime that we can get an Astro team to lose so we can catch up in the standings, that's fantastic. But then we got to do our job and win on our end. We can't just, hope for, them to lose all their games. We got to do our job. 1-2 pitch. Low and inside at the hips with the sinker. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Neto. 2-2 pitch, high and away. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Count now is full from Wu to Neto. Bottom of the 5th, 2-1 Angel lead with 1 out and nobody on. Let's go, Brian. And again, Brian gave up a 2-run RBI double to Joe Adell in the first, and he's been clean since. And I don't know why our starting pitching is always so shaky in the first 2 innings, but at least they're settling down and settling in. And hopefully that will be the only 2 runs Wu gives up while he's on the mound. Bottom of the 5th, 2-1 Angel lead. Wu on the mound, Neto in the box. Three-two pitch, and Neto flies out to right, 2 away. Good pitch there by Wu to jam him. Down goes Neto with the fly out to right. Next up, DHing for the Angels, Mike Trout. Both teams kind of going through the motions, scoring the 3 combined runs all in the first inning, and we haven't really had anything since. But it feels like, the game is about to open up. It's just a matter of, when these pitchers go out, the starters, and, what bullpen is going to pitch better. First pitch from Wu to Trout. Big swing and a miss, low and at the knees, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, high and away from Trout. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. 1 more strike for Brian Wu, and we're out of this inning. And it's awesome to be able to see Wu's development from being the 5, pitcher when he first came up, and then being the number 1 guy on the team this year. Again, he's got a huge upside. And again, we don't really need Castillo on this team anymore. We're just waiting for Durangelo and Cade Anderson to get enough farm reps so we can call those guys up and pair them up with Wu, Gilbert, and Kirby, and then we could have the best pitching staff in baseball. And there is out number 3. Down goes Trout. There we go. Nice job by Brian Wu. I see you, Wu. All right, let's take a look at these stats for these pitchers so far. All right, Brian Wu, 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks, 72 pitches, 48 strikes, 2.94 ERA. So obviously Wu can go a couple more innings. We could have him go 7 innings, which would probably help us tremendously. Less opportunities for a bullpen guy to fuck up. And let's take a look at Jose Soriano doing a good job as well. 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, only 3 Ks, but 69 pitches, 44 strikes, 3.74 ERA. So it's possible both pitchers go 7 innings, but strategy-wise, we'll see if the Angels feel comfortable with Soriano. Same thing goes with Brian Wu. We may end up seeing them only go 6 innings, but based off pitch count, they could go all 7. 8-5 record, ERA of 2.91 coming into the game for Wu. And then for Jose Soriano, 7-7 with an ERA of 3.83. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Next up for the Mariners, 1 for 2 with a run and an RBI. Solo dinger in the first to get us on the board. Julio Rodriguez. Trident's up. Do it again. We may need you to do it again. Batting second, a guy that we need home run number 40 from. 0 for 2 with a K. Big dumper, Cal Raleigh. We'll take singles. We'll take doubles. But at the end of the day, we're looking for home run number 40 to tie the game up or take the lead if Julio gets on base. And looking for the first hit in a Seattle Mariner uniform. 0 for 2 with a K. Come on, Josh Naylor. Let's go. This could be the inning that we tie the game up or take the lead if we can get Julio on, unless obviously he hits that solo dinger again. Definitely hard to hit 2 home runs in a game, but we have like 4 guys that can do it. So Julio can hit 2, Cal can hit 2, Randy can hit 2, and Polo can hit 2. And obviously guys like Dominic Canzone and JP have the ability, even though they may not do it that often. Here we go, back. See ya! Julio Rodriguez with the second homer of the game. Sometimes you got to talk it into existence, baby. We're tied up. Let's go. Way to bring that electricity. 408 feet to left. Woo! Let's go. And it's crazy, that, when Julio plays well, sometimes the rest of the team doesn't do anything. And we've mentioned that before. But again, kind of ironic talking about guys that can hit 2 home runs in a game. And we got 4 guys to do it. And Julio says, you know what? This is a good time for me to do it. Single-handedly keeping us in the game. Nice job by Julio Rodriguez. Now can we get Cal and Josh Naylor to do some damage as well? Nice job, Julio. My man. Now we just need Cal to get on point. First pitch to Cal Raleigh. Takes a strike swinging. Low and away. 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch. High and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cal Raleigh. Let's go, Big Dumper. 1-1 pitch. High and away with the splitter. 2 balls and 1 strike to Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. 2-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. High and away. 4-seam fastball by Soriano. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal. We're looking for home run number 40. Let's go, baby. Trident's up. Nice job, Julio. 2-2 pitch. High and away. Missing the strike zone by about 5 feet there. Count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody on and no outs. 3-2 pitch. And Big Dumper with a single. There we go. We'll take that. Nice rally. Julio with a solo dinger in the first. A solo dinger in the 6th. Big Dumper Cal Raleigh says, hey, I'm going to join the party. I'm going to get a single. And now we have Josh Naylor, and see if we can get Josh with a single as well. Obviously, a home run would be great, but, this is his first game. It's probably going to take a little time for him to get adjusted with his new team. But hopefully he gets at least 1 hit out of 4 or 5 at-bats, to kind of give him some confidence moving forward. First pitch. Takes a strike swinging low and away. 0-1 count. But again, it's also one of those things, if you just pay attention, it's like normally when Julio plays well, a lot of games, no one else really steps up. But again, I do have a feeling others will step up today. And I do think that we can come back and win this game. Soriano on the mound. Our new Seattle Mariner, Josh Naylor, in the box. 0-1 pitch. Fouled off, high and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Josh Naylor. Let's go. Let's go, baby. 2 home runs from Julio. Cal can do it. Randy can do it. Polo can do it. And then occasionally JP and Dom might be able to do that as well. The only guys that probably can't do it that are in the lineup right now are probably Ben Williamson and Cole Young, at least at this early stage in their career. 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Naylor, I'm not sure if he's got butterflies or not, but definitely swinging at pitches that are nowhere near the strike zone. You just need to play within yourself. Again, all you got to do is be better than Donovan Solano. No pressure. 1 away. So far, Naylor 0 for 3 in his debut with the Mariners, but I still have faith he can get 1 hit. Next up is Randy Arozarena, who is 1 for 1. Come on, Randy. Let's go, baby. First pitch to Randy Arozarena from Soriano. Takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Low and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. The last thing that we need is Naylor to be playing like Julio was at the beginning of the year and just swinging at everything. High and away, low and away. Like, you got to make sure you have a little bit of patience there. And I know Naylor, had that reputation on the Guardians and the Diamondbacks to kind of chase pitches. Not as bad as maybe Julio at the beginning of the year, but again, this will take some time for him to settle in. But once he does, I think he'll be very dangerous. Plus, he gives us a better defender at first than Solano, so we at least can use that immediately and then wait for the bat to heat up. 0-2 pitch, high and away. Good eye by Randy Arozarena. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Soriano to Randy. The story of the day so far is Julio Rodriguez with 2 solo dingers to keep us in the game. And down goes Randy Arozarena on strikes, 2 away. Next up is Jorge Polanco. First pitch from Jose Soriano. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. Come on, Polo. We need a single. We need a double. Hell, we'll take a homer that we should have gotten from Randy, you would assume, but we'll take one from Polo. Let's go. But I don't really feel like Polo's going to hit one here. You know, again, when Julio plays well, typically no one else does. But hopefully that will change later in the matchup with a meltdown by the Angel bullpen. 0-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking, behind in the count 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. Yeah, I didn't know if they were going to have Naylor play right away or if it was going to be a couple days, but he's 0 for 3 so far, but I don't know if anyone anticipated him, you know. I don't think anyone was anticipating him going 3 for 4, you know, or anything like that, so, especially in his very first game. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees with the knuckle curve. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. Mariners and Angels knotted up at 2. Julio Rodriguez with a solo dinger in the first, making it 1-0. Joe Adell with an RBI double, you know, scoring Sean Noel and Neto, making it 2-1. And then here in the top of the 6th, Julio goes yard again for his second homer of the day to tie it up 2-2. So Julio single-handedly putting the team on his back, but we need others to step up. Well, Yankees are out of the mix since they signed Ryan McMahon from the Rockies. So it's going to come down to the Tigers, Cubs, and Mariners for Gino. And we do have a good relationship with the GM and owner for the Diamondbacks, you know, with not only this Naylor, you know, move, but with others. And Polo flies out to left. I figured that was going to be the it for the Mariners in that inning. And that is out number 3. Goes back to the warning track, but stays in play. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th inning, 2-2, Mariners and Angels. And it really, you know, may come down to compensation, but if that means that we actually have to give up, you know, one of our pieces in the farm, like if we had to give up, you know, Harry Ford and like Tyler Locklear and, you know, for Gino, again, those guys, you know, could be, you know, pieces that help us win, but again, it would be in the future. But if we get Gino now, that could be the difference, you know, from us winning the division over the Astros or not. It could be the difference between making the wild card or not. And it could also be the difference of making the ALDS, ALCS, or World Series or not. So again, you know, we got Naylor at first. We do need Gino at third, and then we definitely need some depth at right field if we can get it, and then a couple guys in the pen. But I would say it'll probably come down to the Cubs and the Mariners for Gino. You know, but again, I don't know if Gino has a say in it or not, or if they're just going to see who gives the most in compensation. So if the Tigers and Cubs give more, then they're going to get him. You know, but the one thing the Mariners have going for them is that we have the number 1 farm team in baseball. So we have the most to give. You know, if we are willing to give, you know, obviously we're not giving up like Cade Anderson or Durangelo, you know, and obviously Harry Ford is probably the best prospect that we have that, you know, at the moment that's almost ready for the bigs. And he would have gotten called up if Garver would have broke his jaw off that foul tip, you know, a few weeks back. But I don't really want to see Harry Ford go. But if we could get Gino, that would be huge. Go to the bottom of the 6th. We're tied up at 2. And let's see who's up next here for the Angels. Next up, 1 for 1 with a run and a base on ball in the 3-hole, first baseman Nolan Shonowell. Batting second in the 4-hole, left fielder Taylor Ward, Taylor gang. And batting third, center fielder Joe Adell. Had the 2-run RBI double in the first, scoring Shonowell and Neto. And again, Joe is really the only one that has done some damage here early. First pitch from Brian Wu to Nolan Shonowell. 4-seam fastball paints the corner beautifully. 0-1 count. All right, we're at 81, 19 more to go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes and 100 on the Dono train. 19 more to go on the likes and 80 more to go on the Dono train. 0-1 pitch, fouled off, high and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Shonowell. pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Wu to Shonowell. Cool kid in the building. What's good, brother? Bottom of the 6th, 2-2, Mariners and Angels. And Brian Wu doing big things. One of the only pitchers in MLB to pitch all 6 innings or more every single start in 2025. Unbelievable. 1-2 pitch, fouled off high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Wu to Shonowell. We're knotted up at 2. And, you have to remember all the criticism and all the hate, and all the extra shit that was going on with Julio at the beginning, And again, it's just about tempering the expectations and just understanding Julio will never be Ken Griffey Jr. And that's okay, But again, when he ends up playing well, we want to make sure we're praising him. And again, he's usually very, very good after the All-Star break. Every single year that he's played, 2022, 2023, and 2024, in the second half of the season, he's a 300 hitter or higher. So he's definitely, looking good now. And it was a smart decision to back off the All-Star invite and let Randy go. Because if he would have went, we probably aren't getting the home runs out of him right now. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and a nice punch out by Wu. My boy. There we go, Brian. I see you. Way to bring that electricity, baby. Nice job by Brian Wu. That puts Brian Wu at K number 6. Soriano's got 5. Nice job, Brian. First pitch from Wu to Ward. Fouls it off right down the middle. 0-1 count. Let's go, baby. 0-1 pitch. High and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike from Wu to Ward. One pitch, high and inside with that sinker, 96 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. And we gained a few more subs, 2 more. So we're almost at 10 today, which is great. We usually get about 5 to 15 per stream, which is awesome. Now we only need 40 to get to 21,200. And we got about 30 apiece during the All-Star game and the Home Run Derby. But obviously on those streams, we got like 25,000 plus people on the Home Run Derby and 16,000, on the MLB All-Star game. So that was a nice push that we got, which was great to get some good exposure for the Seattle Mariners and the NWSF. 2-1 pitch, high and away. 3 balls and 1 strike from Wu to Ward. And again, every matchup is going to be close with the Angels. They always play us tough. Records go out the window, and just like in any rivalry within the division. And again, it's not going to be any easier after this 4-game set with the Angels. We got a 3-game set with the Athletics, and after that, another set with the Rangers. So, it will really determine as we have a ground out there by Taylor Ward, 2 away. But again, winning games in the division are going to be very important to the success of Seattle, as well as trying to catch up and surpass the Houston Astros. Next up is center fielder Joe Adell, who had a 2-run RBI double in the first inning, and that's been pretty much it. First pitch from Wu to Adell takes a ball low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Wu on the mound, Joe Adell in the box. I would love for Cal Raleigh to hit home run number 40, to be the game-deciding home run. But we may or may not get that Cal homer today. But, I have a good feeling that we can get Cal to 40 in this series. 1-0 pitch, low and away with the sweeper. 2 balls and no strikes from Wu to Adell. Then we gained just another sub here as well. Appreciate you. 39 to go to get to 21,200. 1-0 pitch, low and away with the sweeper. 2 balls and no strikes from Wu to Adell. 2-0 pitch, and down goes Adell for out number 3. There we go. End of the 6th inning. We've tied it up. Now we got to try to take the lead.
Pasta,
Low creaminess. Philadelphia, a creamy
Go to the
touch
top of the
magic.
seventh inning, leading off 0 for 1 with a base on ball. It's the Dom Bomb, Dominic Canzone. Batting second, 0 for 2. Third baseman, Ben Williamson, dropped the bunt. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K, second baseman, Cole Young. Let's go Mariners. Shout out to the viewers that are watching not only in the United States, but in the Dominican Republic, Mexico, Venezuela, Canada, Japan, Philippines, Nicaragua, Puerto Rico, Taiwan, Australia, New Zealand, and many, many other countries. If you are watching, thank you so much, and I appreciate all the love and the support. All right, Burke is relieving Soriano. All right, so Soriano's day is done. Let's look at his final line. All right, Soriano, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks, 87 pitches, 57 strikes, 3.79 ERA. Brock Burke entering the matchup. And first pitch from Brock Burke to Canzone, in play and lines out to right, 1 away. Work the count, my guy. First pitch from Burke to Williamson, low and away with the 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Williamson in the box, Brock Burke on the mound. One-0 pitch, low and away, 4-seam fastball, 2 balls and no strikes from Burke to Williamson. Believe it or not, for me, I was actually more of a basketball player and a football player. So I ended up playing, baseball, obviously like the Sandlot, with a bunch of the, neighborhood kids and whatnot. But I never played in like middle school or high school or college ball on the baseball side. Only basketball and football. And then I ended up, getting a really good job in my senior year for, a sales firm. And then ended up stepping away from being the starting point guard on varsity so I could pursue that, and again, it ended up doing, wonders, for not only my career now, but also at that time, being able to work with some of the best, sales individuals. And again, a lot of times when you end up calling, not necessarily customer service, but when you're talking to certain individuals for big companies, a lot of times they outsource individuals in Oregon because we can kind of chameleon our voice and we can talk to pretty much anybody, whether it be people in the South, people in the Northeast that have that accent from New York or Boston, or, people that are on the West Coast. 3-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Burke to Williamson. Three-one pitch, and Williamson grounds out to first, 2 away. Yeah, but the thing is with Williamson and Cole Young, they're essentially rookies. They're from AAA, so you can't expect them, to be like superstars right away. It's going to take time. Obviously, getting Gino would, help out in that position, but I don't necessarily think that, Williamson or Young are garbage. They're just young. This is their first year. It's hard for guys to be able to come up from the farm and, be amazing. So first pitch from Burke to Cole Young. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. There's going to be games where Williamson and Young play great, and then there's going to be games where they struggle. But you have to think the 7, 8, and 9 hole hitters didn't start on the team at the beginning of the year. All 3 of those guys were in AAA. So again, you have to kind of, understand that these are AAA players that are just trying to find themselves. Now, Dom obviously was a starter and on the team last year, but they ended up sending him down. So anytime you go up and down, it definitely will, affect your confidence and swagger, not only physically, but mentally. 0-1 pitch, fouls that one off right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes from Burke to Young. Baseball is the hardest sport to play, besides probably the NHL and hockey. It's easier to play basketball and football, for the average player, but baseball, it's not easy. 0-2 pitch, and there we go. Cole Young with a nice single to left. Here we go. And we're very good with 2 outs, so we might be able to get a rally here. Next up is JP Crawford, who's 0 for 3 with a lot of dribblers up the middle. Hopefully we can get JP on board here. Top of the 7th inning, 2-2, Angels and Mariners. And they may have a pitching change already. They just brought in Brock Burke, and I'm not sure if his day is done. But they got the whole team surrounding Burke here. Yeah, leadership is always something that was, kind of second nature, to me and whatnot. So, usually like point guard, quarterback, tight end, wide receiver, defense, linebacker, things of that nature. So, but obviously you get to a certain age when you're growing up and, you have dreams of, being like Michael Jordan or, Ken Griffey Jr. or whoever, Barry Sanders. You're starting to like, when you're young, you're naive. Everyone thinks that they're going to go pro or they're going to be, amazing. And then as you start getting up into like middle school and high school, and then you start to see like how big and athletic some of these other people are from not only your school, but other schools. And then you start to hit the reality. Well, you're probably not, going to be able to not just go pro, but you might not even be able to make, a college team or, depending on how good you are in high school and whatnot. So, I always had a lot of athletic ability just because my dad put in a lot of time when I was young, where it would be raining or snowing and we'd be outside for 3-4 hours, playing catch, with the baseball, shooting hoops, kicking the soccer ball around, playing catch with the football. So I've always been kind of well-rounded, but I knew my voice was going to be my meal ticket. 1-0 pitch, and Crawford grounds out to second, throw to first, and that is out number 3. Not the greatest day here for JP, 0 for 4.
Hormel chili is beef chili. Pour on America's favorite.
All right, let's go to the bottom of the 7th inning, and let's see who's up here for the Angels. Next up for the Angels, 0 for 2. Third baseman in the 6th hole, Yohan Moncada. Batting second, 1 for 2, catcher Logan Ohapi. And batting third, the former Dodger right fielder Chris Taylor. And Wu, where is he at pitch count wise? 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 6 Ks, and he's at 86 pitches, 56 strikes. So this should be the last inning for Wu. He's got a little bit of wiggle room, 14 pitches to get to 100. So hopefully he doesn't have to get to that point. And Mariners have 5 hits, 2 runs, 4 hits for 2 runs for the Angels. But the difference is Julio's got 2 home runs. And, what about everybody else? Julio's got 2 for 3, 2, home runs. Randy's got a hit. Cole Young has a hit, right? But we need other people to step up. But I guess it could be worse. You only have Neto, Shawnuel, and Ohapi, obviously, for the Angels there. All right, Woo, let's finish strong here, baby. Bring that electricity. Let's see if we can get a couple punch outs here. First pitch from Wu to Moncada. Takes a strike swinging high and away, 0-1 count. Oh, 0-1 pitch, low and away with the changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike from Wu to Moncada. 1-1 pitch, fouled off high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Wu to Moncada. Yeah, I mean, but again, based on me really analyzing this team and how we play, the games where Julio plays great, for whatever reason, everyone else just sucks ass and they just don't do a whole lot. Like, you still might have 1 or 2 guys that get like a hit or 2, but nothing really impactful that affects the scoreboard, and again, the same type of thing we got here today. It's not like Julio's got the only hits, of the day, but you're not getting the normal production out of Cal or JP or Randy or Polo. And then you can't really expect a whole lot on the bottom from Dom and Big Ben and Cole Young, so hopefully, they bring in a pitcher that is having a meltdown, and even some of the weaker guys in the lineup can get it done. And we're still looking for Josh Naylor's first hit in the Seattle Mariner uniform, which could help. 1-2 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Wu to Moncada. 1-2 pitch, fouled off again, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Wu to Moncada. We're in the bottom of the 7th, knotted up at 2. But Big Ben, he's good at defense. He's not the greatest hitter. Cole Young is probably a better hitter than Ben, but defensively not as good as Big Ben. So, each guy, that's young, is going to excel at something. And Big Ben has always been more of a defensive guy. It's just about to get him more comfortable, swinging the bat. And, hopefully both guys will get better. Hopefully that, unless we get Gino, hopefully we get Harry Ford to get the call up at some point. But that might be a piece of trade bait that the Diamondbacks want to be able to get Gino. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Moncada. Come on, Wu, finish strong. Wu on the mound, on Moncada in the box. Yeah, and it would be nice, Judah, if JP would have just dropped like a bunt down, but again, sometimes these players are kind of stubborn, and again, sometimes you got to go outside of the box instead of just doing the same thing over and over again, thinking that you're going to get a different result. 2-2 pitch, high and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Moncada. But definitely a winnable game here. It's just, who's going to have the better bullpen the rest of the way. Whoever does, more than likely will win. 3-2 pitch, fouled off. That was pitch number 9 here to Moncada. He's really grinding out this at-bat, trying to make sure Wu doesn't complete the bottom of the 7th inning, because he's going to be getting close to 100 pitches now. At 95, and by the time he gets Moncada out, he might be at 100. And that's the last thing that we wanted for Wu. We wanted quick, 4 or 5 pitch outs, and then that 10 pitch at bat for Moncada turns into a fucking walk. We might just pull him here. Next up is Logan O'Hoppe, and I think if I was Dan Wilson, I would pull him now. That was just too long of an at bat. 10 pitches, and you didn't even strike him out. And ended up turning into a walk. If you pitch to O'Hoppe and he ends up getting a hit, we don't want to have our bullpen guy with runners at first and second and no outs, because if that happens, and they bring in like Vargas or Legomina or Thornton, we're going to be down 3-2 or 4-2 after this inning. So, make the move. Again, he's already at close to 100 pitches, again, and is it possible if you pull him and the next guy that comes in gives up a hit? Of course. But, my gut kind of kind of feels like, you should pull them now. And they do. Good job. Now, if you were able to get that first out with like 5-6 pitches, then go for the second out. But that was just way too long of an at-bat, and you turned it into a walk. So unfortunate that's the way that Wu has to end his night, but overall was good, right? Gave up a 2-run RBI double in the first inning and nothing since that point. But if you would have kept him in the rest of this inning, it kind of feels like that would have been the turning point for the Angels to win. And the Angels still might win. Who knows who they're going to be bringing in, but hopefully it's someone halfway decent. And it looks like it's going to be Bizzardo. Great choice. And normally we don't say that with Dan Wilson. Normally it ends up being like fucking Vargas or someone stupid like that. So I like the choice here because Bizzardo is our most reliable guy, even more than Brash at this point. All right, let's go, Bizzardo. And obviously Brash is reliable. Bizzardo is reliable. Munoz is reliable. Spire, probably about 70%. And then everyone else is like 50% or less as far as trust. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes before the stream ends. We've been gaining some good subs as well. 39 subs to go to get to 21,200. And we're at 20 on the Dono train, 80 to go. All right, we're 8 likes away from 100. So if you are in the room and haven't smashed that like button yet, we have at least 80 people in the room that haven't done it yet. So if we can get 7 out of 80, we'll be at 100. So if you can do your boy a solid, take 1 second, hit the like button, and we'll be at 100. We're at 93, 7 to go. First pitch from Bizzardo to Logan Ohapi. Takes a strike, swinging right down the middle. 0-1 count. Great pitch. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. High and away. Behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Ohapi. And that simple fact that they pulled Wu and they brought in Bizzardo, this could be the difference between us winning the game or not. Let them know all day. I mean, especially if we have like 80 that haven't done it. I mean, we should be well over 100 at this point. But again, it just depends on if people want to support or not. 0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Ohapi. There we go. We're at 101. Let's see if we can get to 125 before the stream ends, which should be doable with the amount of people that we have in the room. Thank you to all the people that ended up hitting that like button. I appreciate it. And the reason that we, bring it up, throughout the streams is it's good for analytics and metrics. YouTube looks at all of the stats. So it not only is good for the channel and for myself and the NWSF and the people in the room, but it also will give a chance to, give a recommendation to others on YouTube that are looking for Mariners, Angels, or just baseball in general. So next up is Lamont Wade Jr. First pitch from Bizzardo to Lamont Wade Jr. Takes a strike looking, low and away, 0-1 count. Off the top of my head, like I said, I wouldn't have an answer for you. I'd have to, take a look to see, the model and the box and any other, information on them. But I've been, using these mics for quite a while. 0-2 pitch in play, and Wade Jr. lines out to right, 2 away. Yeah, but giving likes just based on, getting hits or home runs for your parlay to win, you should just like the stream based on what we're doing here. Again, there's not going to be anyone else putting in the hard work and the energy, being as specific on every pitch. And, if you look at the thumbnail, the photos, and the overall product, no one else that does baseball streams does it the way that we do it here. So, hopefully you guys end up winning your parlays, based on individual bets, but that shouldn't be the only reason that you like the stream. First pitch from Bizzardo to Rengifo. Takes a strike looking, low and away, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Takes another strike looking, low and away with the slider. No balls and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Rengifo. (0-2 pitch. Right down the middle. Should have been strike 3 for Bizzardo, but for whatever reason they call ball. And this ump has been not very good here in the last 3 innings. A lot of missed calls for both teams, but primarily the Mariners. It's probably been 60-40 advantage Angels based on the location of some of these pitches and how the ump is calling the game. But at least it's not 80-20 or 90-10 like it was in the Bronx versus the Yankees. So can't complain too much. 1-2 pitch. Low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. Mariners 2, Angels 2 here late. (2-2 pitch. That one's fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Rengifo. Yeah, the only thing I can give you, Steve, based off the mics, they're similar mics that you see on, podcast, whether it be on a big network or just an individual that's trying to make their dream come true. They're Shure mics, SHURE. And, again, these mics are pretty popular, based on people that do shows and whatnot. But as far as any other details that go involved with them, I don't know off the top of my head. And that is out number 3. End of the 7th inning, 2-2, Mariners and Angels. And luckily we pulled Wu at the right time, because if we would have left him in, I almost guarantee you 100% we would be down 3-2 or worse at this point. And Rengifo strikes out swinging. Nice punch out there by Edward Bizzardo. Nice job. All right, let's go to the top of the 8th and take the lead. It's time to win. Next up for the Mariners, 2 for 3 with 2 solo dingers. Can he do it again? Will Julio Rodriguez put this team on his back and get 3 home runs in a game? Could be. You never know. And we may need him to do it for us to win this game. Let's go, J-Rod. Let's go, Julio. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a single and a K. Big dumper, Cal Raleigh. He's got home run number 39 after the All-Star break, but we're looking for home run number 40. Can we get a late home run by Big Dumper to take the lead and win the game? I sure hope so. And batting third, 0 for 3, looking his first hit in a Seattle Mariner uniform. Cleanup hitter, first baseman, Josh Naylor. Come on, Josh. Julio. Let's get it done. Cal. Let's get it done. Naylor. Let's go. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Reflect in the building. What's good? He's got the 108th like. We got 17 more to get to 125. Yeah, well, the reason that I use 2, instead of just using 1, depending on where I am in the studio, if I'm looking one way or looking another, I just want to make sure that depending on where, my screens are at, based on where I'm looking at the games on the TV or on the computer for the game, I just want to make sure, that everything is being able to heard clearly. On top of, me doing 2 roles, I have to do play-by-play and color, and again, it's just I like things that are symmetrical as well. And again, I don't, do things the same way as others, on YouTube. And again, it works for me. So now, could I do it with using just one mic? Yeah, but then you wouldn't have the symmetrical. And, I like things being symmetrical. I like being able to have everybody here, instead of having just one mic. If I turn my head and I'm looking at something, I just want to make sure that everything is picked up. So it's really more for the fans, not necessarily for me. So Detmers is in the game to Julio. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Behind in the count now, 0-2 to Julio Rodriguez. 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and down goes Julio on strikes, which is all right. He's already hit 2 home runs for us, and Bizzardo is a bad man. Most reliable guy that we have in the pen right now. Stacks, racks, with a little cactus jack. Bang, bang. We're at 25, 75 to go to hit the goal. Appreciate you. Yeah. Judah came in here and was mentioning how good of a night that he had. 6 for 6. 4 homers, 8 ribbies. Unbelievable. I mean, he's been on a heater. He's been on, the social media sites the last, week or so, based on kind of heating up. And he's not even the best player. Jacob Wilson might win Rookie of the Year. You got Lawrence Butler. You got Brett Rooker, the All-Star. So great for Nick Kurtz to have a game like that. First pitch from Detmers to Raleigh. Fouls it off right down the middle, 0-1 count. And anytime we can get the A's to beat the Astros, every Mariner fan's going to love that. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike swinging high and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Detmers to Raleigh. For me, it's all about presentation. It's not just about my voice. You got to have a great thumbnail. You have to have a great look. You have to have great fans, and you have to know what you're talking about. There's a lot of factors, that are involved. So 0-2 pitch. High and inside by Reed Detmers. 1 ball and 2 strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss from Cal, and that is 2 away. And it just seems like Cal hasn't really been in the same type of rhythm that he was in the first part of the season. Home run derby, he won it. MLB All-Star game, he played. He's only had 1 home run since the break, but at least he got that home run. So he doesn't have the pressure of, trying to hit this 1 home run and it, takes 20, 25 games. So, he's only 1 away from 40. The only thing at this point is if he doesn't get home runs soon, he's not going to hit 60 plus. He's going to end up hitting somewhere between 50 and 59, which is great. The record is 48 by Salvador Perez, which we know he'll break that. But the sooner he gets to 40, the faster he'll get to 50 and beyond. First pitch from Reed Detmers to Josh Naylor, fouls it off, high and away. He's 0 for 3, and we're looking for the first hit in a Mariner uniform. Hopefully it happens here. 0-1 pitch, low and away. And if it was one of the previous 3 at-bats, he would have swung at that. So at least he's learning. 1 ball and 1 strike from Detmers to Naylor. Let's go, Josh. One pitch. Big swing and a miss, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Detmers to Naylor. And Naylor's going to be a guy. He's going to strike out a lot. He will ground out into double plays. He's going to pop up and ground out just like anyone, and again, he's not going to homer maybe as often as people would want. But the bottom line is he's going to be better than Solano, and it gives us some depth there. And it may take a few games for him to feel comfortable. So if he goes 0 for 4, 0 for 5 a few times early within the first 10 games, don't be shocked, but he will be able to turn it around. 1-2 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Detmers to Naylor. Come on, Josh. We don't even expect a home run. We just want a single. Just get on base. Help us win. Two pitch, fouled off, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Tied up 2-2, and for whatever reason, when Julio plays great, no one else does. And again, this game is another one of those games. He has 2 solo dingers, and pretty much everyone else hasn't done a whole lot. So hopefully we can find someone else to be the hero. 2-2 pitch, and there it is. Naylor's first hit in a Seattle Mariner uniform. I had a feeling that he would go 1 for 4 or 1 for 5, and he finally got that first hit. Nice job, Josh. Next up, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And maybe we can get Randy to go yard to, give us that 4-2 lead and maybe the 4-2 win. But if we can get Randy or Polo to homer, that could be huge. Nice job, Josh. Gained another sub. Over 10 subs gained in the stream alone. Only 38 to go now to hit 21,200. Appreciate all the love and the support. Now we just need this dub, especially if the Astros are getting absolutely obliterated. We need to do our job. And this team, is going to be feisty, but we should be able to win 3 out of 4. If we win the first 3 games, we should be able to sweep, you would think, as long as Logan Gilbert doesn't have a meltdown on Sunday. The real key matchup will be tomorrow with Kirby, because Kirby has been a little shaky lately. But if we can find a way to win with Kirby tomorrow, if we win today, it should be pretty good. But if we don't win today, we may lose tomorrow and then win with Gilbert and split. But we're better than that. And hopefully we can end up winning a minimum of 3 out of 4. First pitch to Randy, takes strike looking down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. We'll take a home run, but we'll take an RBI as well. Just get on base. Let's go, Randy. 1-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. Top of the 8th, we're knotted up at 2 with 2 solo dingers by Julio Rodriguez in the 1st and the 6th. And then the 2 runs that the Angels got were in the 1st inning by Joe Adell with a 2-run RBI double, scoring Neto and Shonowell. And down goes Randy Arozarena, and that is out number 3 with the pop-up.
Don't knock it.
Pop-up, ground out, strikeout. Come on,
Sizzle,
my guy.
Fork, and
and sometimes you'll feel it, like that home run is about to happen, and other times you feel that, that strikeout, pop-up, or ground out is looming, and that is out number 3. Let's go to the bottom of the 8th and see if we can find a way to keep them at 2. And that is strike 3 looking for Randy. Looking. He can't believe it. He's still standing there in disbelief. Next up, 1 for 3 with a run on his bobblehead night, Zach Neto. Batting second, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks. First ballot Hall of Famer, Mike Trout. And batting third, 1 for 2 with a run, a base on ball, and a K. 3-hole hitter, first baseman Nolan Shonowell. Trident's up. Let's go M's. And curious if they're going to keep Bizzardo in there or they're going to bring someone else in. And Brash is coming in for Bizzardo. Interesting that they went Bizzardo first, then Brash, not Brash and Bizzardo, but I think it was the right choice. All right, come on, Brash. We need you to be the good Brash, not the one that's been shaky lately with Munoz. Just play within yourself. Come on now. Bottom of the 8th inning. Knotted up at 2. Brash on the mound. Zach Neto in the box. Let's go, M's. This is a game that we should win. It's right there in reach. Even though, Julio has a great game. No one else is really doing anything yet, but that doesn't mean that someone else won't step up. So let's go, baby. Find a way to get this dub. Even if it ends up being a 3-2 win, we'll take it. Sarah in the building. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Let's go. First pitch from Brash to Neto. Fouls that one off right down the middle. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Fouls it off, low and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Brash to Neto. And this is the good Brash when you know he gets ahead of the count 0-2. Same thing with Bizzardo and Mooney. You know, when they can get ahead of the count 0-2, you know they're in business. It's like when they end up having 3 straight balls, or they, you know, walk the first 2 guys, or, you know, you give up back-to-back hits. Then you know you're in fucking trouble with those guys that are in. But so far, it's looking pretty good. 12 more likes to get to 125. Let's get there, baby. Yeah, and even if we have to match up against the Blue Jays, the Yankees, the Tigers, the Astros, you know, again, I don't think it really matters. You know, we match up really well with all those teams. And even the way that the Blue Jays have been playing lately, you know, we kind of have their number. We know how to play them. You know, if anything, the team that's the hardest for us to play is the Yankees. You know, the Blue Jays, the Tigers, the Astros, we know how to beat those teams. But with the Yankees, that's a little bit more difficult. And it's not just Aaron Judge, it's the team itself. You know, and again, that's the team that we have the hardest time beating. But other than that, you know, if we end up matching up with the Yankees, if we end up picking up Gino and, you know, getting another bullpen piece or 2, you know, it all depends on who's hot and healthy at the end of the year. And honestly, you know, I don't think there's really one team that's that much better than everyone else. I know the Tigers are good right now. The Blue Jays are great. And the Yankees, Astros, and Mariners are kind of reeling, so to speak, a little, you know, but that doesn't mean that, you know, the Yankees and the Astros and the Mariners can't get hot before the season's over. So 0-2 pitch, low and away to Zach Neto. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Brash to Neto. We're in the bottom of the 8th, knotted up at 2. And it's, you know, been a couple years since the Blue Jays made the playoffs, and we're good. You know, obviously we matched up with them in 2022 when we made the playoffs for the first time in 20 plus years, and things went in our favor, and we had huge comebacks against them and beat them. But again, a fun team to play. It's always going to be fun when you go against, you know, George Springer, you know, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette. 1-2 pitch in play and grounds out to JP. Throw to first. 1 away. Down goes Zach Neto on his bobblehead night. Next up is Mike Trout. Let's go, Brash. Keep wheeling and dealing, baby. Bring that electricity. Yeah, 95 Yankees. Yeah. You know, and, you know, we're going to have memories that are good and bad with the Yankees. And also in 2001, when we won 116 games, who was the team that knocked us off and knocked us out? The Yankees. So, you know, that's really the one team. I don't think we really fear the Tigers or the Blue Jays or the Astros. We know what to expect with those. But with the Yankees, it's not just their team history. It's just the way that they've had our number for a while, you know. But, you know, I would love to be able to beat them in the playoffs, but we got to get there first. First pitch, high and away to Mike Trout, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Brash to Trout. I mean, you know, even if the Yankees don't win the division, they're still going to more than likely make the playoffs. I mean, Red Sox are, you know, kind of surging at points and also slumping at points. So, you know, they're a little untrustworthy. You know, and I still think the Yankees are better than the Red Sox overall, even if they're on a little bit of a slump, you know, but again, the season is long. It's 162 games. There's plenty of time to get hot. 1 ball and 1 strike from Brash to Trout. Bottom of the 8th, we're knotted up at 2. But, you know, you got the Blue Jays and the Yankees, you know, in the Central. You got the Astros and the Mariners, obviously in the West. And then, or in the East, you know, Yankees and Blue Jays. And then in the West, you know, you got Astros and Mariners. And then Central, you got the Tigers. But you would assume there's going to be one team between the Guardians, the Twins, you know, in that particular division, you know, that will be able to, you know, and the Royals that will find a way above 500. It's kind of weird to have the Central with only one team with an above 500 record and, you know, the other 4 that are under. But, you know, something's got to give at some point. 1-2 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Brash to Trout. Come on, Matt. Keep wheeling and dealing. Brash on the mound, Trout in the box. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Mike Trout. Hell yeah. Nice job by Brash, bringing that electricity, baby. 2 away. Great job. And this is one of the better performances out of Brash with the first 2 batters. Now let's see if you can do batter number 3. First pitch to Nolan Shonowell, low and at the knees with the changeup, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch. Big strike looking high and away, which should have been called ball. Don't know what that ump is looking at. That's like 3 feet off the plate, and he called it a strike. Again, it's probably evened out now, maybe 55-45 with bad calls, still favoring the Angels. But again, we're starting to get a few kind of garbage calls to go our way, which I don't really appreciate. But again, as long as they're going to try to be as 50-50 as possible, if you're going to call it, a strike out of the zone outside, make sure you're doing it for both teams. And at this point in the last 4 innings, the ump has. 1-1 pitch, foul ball right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Brash on the mound, Shonowell in the box. We need 1 more strike to get out of this inning. Let's go. 1-2 pitch, low and away, missing the strike zone by about 9 feet there. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Brash to Shonowell. But things in baseball can change really quick. It's like when the Mariners won 9 consecutive series in a row, averaging 6 runs a game for a month and a half. And then we went a month and a half scoring only 1 to 3 and shit the bed. So, a lot of stuff can happen, in a matter of a month and a half. And Shonowell lines out and flies out to center. And that is out number 3. Great job by Bizzardo and Brash. I see you, Edward. I see you, Matt. Great job. End of the 8th inning. We're knotted up at 2. Let's see if we can win this game 3-2 in the top of the 9th. Two runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Mariners. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Angels. And just a quick recap in the matchup, if you're just tuning in to the broadcast. Julio Rodriguez in the first inning, homered to right center, 1-0 Mariners. Then in the bottom of the first, Joe Adell got a 2-run RBI double. Shonowell and Neto scored, making it 2-1. And then in the 6th inning, Julio Rodriguez did it again, a solo dinger, putting the team on his back. And we're still stuck at the score, 2-2. Now we're in the 9th inning, and hopefully we can find a way to win it in regulation or in 10, 11, or 12 in extras. Jansen is relieving Detmers. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 3, Jorge Polanco. Batting second, right fielder Dominic Canzone. And batting third baseman Ben Williamson. So not really the best order, for Polo and Dominic Canzone and Ben Williamson. But again, if we can get one of the first 2 guys on base, either with a walk, a plunk, or just a single, we could be in business. And we're very good with 2 outs, but I'm not really sure if these are the 3 guys that are going to win it for us in regulation. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We have at least 80 in the room that haven't done it yet. We only need, 9? 9 out of 80 to be able to hit that like button, and then we'll be at 125. Gained another sub. 37 to go to get to 21,200. Appreciate you. More than 10 subs in this stream alone. First pitch from Jansen to Polo, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Jansen to Polo. Come on, Jorge. 1-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Jansen to Polo. Top of the 9th inning. We're knotted up at 2. And another game where Julio plays great and no one else plays up to their potential. But it's not over yet. There's still a chance that someone other than Julio can be the hero to win it for us. Even though Julio's put us in a good position. Think if Julio doesn't homer, we lose 2-0 or 2-1. So 1-2 pitch in play and grounds out to first. Easy out for the Angels, 1 away. Next up is Dominic Canzone, 0 for 2 with a base on ball. Come on, Dom. First pitch, fouled off right down the middle from Jansen, 0-1 count. Come on, Dom. Jansen on the mound, Canzone in the box. Oh, 1 pitch, fouled off again, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Jansen to Canzone. Come on, Dom. Don't even need to get a home run. Just get on base. And 0-2 pitch. In play. Slow dribbler. Grounds out to second. Throw to first. 2 away. This one might go into extras. I mean, as long as our defense is good in the bottom of the 9th. Unless Ben Williamson can get on with a single. And we can start a rally with Cole and JP with 2 outs. Which we're very good with 2 outs. But again, a lot of pressure here for Big Ben to get it done. First pitch to Ben Williamson, takes a strike looking low and on the line, 0-1 count. It's my friend Brooks Beats, a beat maker here in Oregon, and this one is called Heaven. First pitch from Jansen to Williamson, takes a strike looking on that line, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch in play. And Big Ben grounds out to third, throw to first, and that is the end of the Mariners in the top of the 9th, which I figured would happen. Not the very most, strong, confident aura, swagger vibe with Polo, Dominic Canzone, and Ben Williamson. That might have been the worst 3 guys to have up in that particular, clutch position, but still think that we can win this game. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 9th. And hopefully we can hang, obviously a couple punch outs on them and keep the score 2-2. Otherwise, we're going to lose. Next up, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks in the 4-hole. Left fielder Taylor Ward, a very good player. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a 2-run RBI double early in the matchup and a K, Joe Adell. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a walk, third baseman Yohan Moncada. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Come on, Mariner Moose. And we got Andres Munoz coming out with a 2-2 tie, which doesn't happen often. I mean, most of the time you're only seeing Munoz when we have a lead. So hopefully Munoz will do the job and we can find a way. Munoz on the mound, Taylor Ward in the box. And obviously the lineup for the Angels is a little bit stronger with their 3, but nothing that Munoz can't handle on his own. I mean, we got 2 home runs by Julio Rodriguez, so that part is awesome. But as far as everyone else, like, what happened? JP, Cal, Polo, Randy, Naylor. I mean, I don't think we really expected anything from Naylor. And then guys at the bottom of the order, Dom, Ben, and Cole. I mean, usually those guys will get going when the guys in the top of the order get going. But again, if you're only having one player, and again, I've said this many, many times, for whatever weird reason, whenever Julio plays like a superstar, no one else does a whole lot. I don't know why that is. And there's going to be games where everyone plays well and Julio, and then we're almost unbeatable. But when it's only Julio for the most part, it can go either way. We can find a way for someone else to step up, for that big win, RBI, game winner or solo dinger, or we're, going to be in a position where we might lose 3-2, and hopefully that doesn't happen. First pitch from Munoz to Ward. Takes a strike swinging low and away, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, high and inside to Taylor Ward. 1 ball and 1 strike from Mooney to Ward. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike from Munoz to Ward. Come on, Andres. 2-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Munoz to Ward. 2-2 pitch. Low and away with the slider. Should have been called strike, but again, this ump is not giving us any calls on the line. Count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. We're in the bottom of the 9th, tied up at 2. Three-two pitch, and struck him out looking, baby. Here we go. Nice job by Andres Munoz bringing that electricity, baby. See ya. 1 away. Next up is Joe Adele. First pitch, takes a strike swinging right down the middle from Munoz. 0-1 count. Nice punch out by Munoz with 97 high heat. And hopefully we'll be able to get Adele with the same outcome here. Come on, baby. 0-1 pitch. Fouls that one off right down the middle. Love that. No balls and 2 strikes from Mooney to Joe Adele. And same thing, on the Angels end, really Joe Adele, one of the main guys, to bring in those 2 runs with an RBI double. So it's really been Julio Rodriguez and Joe Adele, and that's it. So it's kind of a rare, type of thing. But again, when we play the Angels, sometimes this happens. It's always going to be close. You're going to have to earn it. 0-2 pitch, low and away with the slider, missing the strike zone by a foot or 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Munoz to Adele. Come on, baby. One ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 pitch. Low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Munoz to Adele. Bottom of the 9th. We're knotted up at 2. Nobody on and 1 out. Joe Adele in the box. Andres Munoz on the mound. There we go. Great job all day. We got to 125. Let's see if we can get to 150 before the stream ends, especially if it ends up going into extras. 2-2 pitch. That one is fouled off right down the middle with the slider by Mooney. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on, and 1 out. We're knotted up at 2. 2 solo dingers by Julio Rodriguez in the 1st and the 6th, and then a 2-run RBI double by Joe Adele in the 1st inning. So it's kind of been, the story of this matchup. It was 2-1 for the longest time before Julio tied it up in the 6th, but not a whole lot of offense in this matchup. And pitching wasn't necessarily lights out. It was, good enough, but not necessarily a pitcher's duel, but just a lot of guys not doing their job. 2-2 pitch, low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Come on, Mooney. Let him know all day. Yeah. A better investment than gambling would be investing in sports cards, like getting graded cards, PSA, BGS, and then like flipping. That would be a better way to make money, than, taking your chances on betting. 3-2 pitch, and Adele grounds out to second, but also you have to know that world. And if you're not in that world with PSA, BGS, and cards, then it's not going to work. But you can make more money that way. Next up is Yoan Moncada. First pitch from Mooney to Moncada. Big swing and a miss. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Fouled off. High and inside. No balls and 2 strikes from Muniz to Yoan Moncada. Let's go, baby. One more strike and we go into extras. 0-2 pitch. And got him swinging. Great job by Andres Munoz, baby. And again, we've seen Mooney be a little shaky. We've seen him blow some saves. We've seen him not as sharp within the first, 50 games of the season where he was electric and lights out. Didn't even have an ERA of 0, and obviously it's, not that anymore. But way to get the job done, Andres Munoz. Let's go to the top of the 10th and fucking win this game. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Great job by Mooney. We can win this 3-2. Next up for the Mariners, 1 for 3 with a K. Second baseman Cole Young. Drop a single down, maybe even a bunt. Let's go. Batting second, 0 for 4. Let's make it 1 for 5. Let's go JP. And batting third, an individual that already has 2 home runs in this game, 2 for 4 with 2 single solo dingers, 2 RBIs and a K. It is J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. Will Julio hit 3 home runs in a game and try to do his best Nick Kurtz impersonation, even though he ended up having 4 home runs and going 6 for 6? I mean, anytime you can homer more than twice in a game, it's pretty rare air. But when you end up homering 4 times in a game, like Kurtz and Eugenio Suarez, then you end up making a big name for yourself. That is facts. I mean, the most valuable card I've ever owned is the one that I sacrificed, for this channel, PSA 9, 1986, Fleer Michael Jordan rookie, which is worth 20 to 30,000 now. But I think as far as right now, I would say I got an Aaron Judge BGS 9 auto grade 10 rookie card. I think it's like Topps Museum. So right now, usually it'll be floating around like 600 to 1,000, kind of in that general range. So I would say that's probably the highest card at the moment. And I got a few, Julio graded rookie card autos that are worth 250 and 350. I got a Cal rookie auto, worth over 100, and a lot of other cards and whatnot. But obviously the Jordan is the most valuable card I have ever owned. But again, I ended up winning that card on eBay in LeBron's rookie year in 2003. It was worth $2,500 at that point, and the economy was bad like it is kind of now, and I ended up winning it for $1,980 and then $20 for insurance, and I bet with like 50 other people, and I made the last bid with like 1 second left, and I won. And, you're not going to ever be able to get something like that again. A card, that's worth $2,500 for only 1,000. And then, obviously now it's worth 20 to 30,000. So, all right, next up is Cole Young. Let's try to win this game, baby. But sometimes you got to sacrifice things for your dreams. And obviously, if I didn't have dreams and goals, I still would have the card to this day. Zephajon on the mound, Cole Young in the box. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and no strikes to Cole Young. Could we get the meltdown that we need right here? If you're going to sell cards, you sell on eBay. I mean, they're going to take their cut, but, again, you see a lot of breakers, where you can end up buying a spot and then you can end up winning something. But a lot of those people are not good people. They end up, pulling the card off camera, in a pack, or, replacing it with something else. And, some breakers are legit and whatnot, and there's obviously, Facebook Marketplace and other whatnot. There's other places that you can sell. But if you really want to deal with trustworthy people for the most part, looking at their seller ratings, obviously, eBay is usually the way to go. You have the best chance to not get ripped off when you do eBay. But even though there are going to be bad people on eBay that, take the money and say they sent the card even though they didn't. And you obviously want to do insurance as well. 3-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking right down the middle from Zephyr John. 3 balls and 1 strike with a runner at second with no outs. Cole Young in the box. Zephyr John on the mound. And there we go. 5-pitch walk. Now we got runners at first and second. We're going to win this, baby. Next up is J.P. Crawford. Come on, J.P. And this would be a good time for J.P. to drop the bunt down to move the runners over from first to second to third. But if you're going to drop the bunt down, you have to drop it down towards first base. You can't drop it down towards third when the runner is going to be heading towards that direction. But, of course, will J.P. bunt? Of course not. First pitch, high and away, 1-0 count. But we might be able to get J.P. with a walk because it kind of feels like Zephyr John is going to have a meltdown. He can't hit the strike zone. Wild pitch, but good defense there by the Angels. 1-0 pitch, high and away. Zephyr John having a meltdown. 2 balls and no strikes to J.P. Crawford. And this is exactly what we needed to potentially win. Have a pitcher in there that can't hit the zone. So at this point, it's having discipline and not swinging. Because the more you swing, you're going to get the pitch count back into Zephyr John's favor. So if you just sit there and hang tight, the chances of him hitting 3 strikes in a row is probably 0%. So initially tried to show bunt there, but pulled back. 2 balls and no strikes with runners at first and second and no outs. And again, it's not about, ego. You have to be a team player. And hopefully JP will be a team player here and have the discipline that we need. Top of the 10th inning, runners at first and second and no outs. Come on, baby. Well, I'm not sure if JP is clutch. I mean, he's 0 for 4 today. So, but, he can be at times. And they may make a move here. I mean, obviously, Zephyr John can't hit the zone. And if they stick with him, we definitely are scoring 1, 2, or 3 runs here. 2-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking down the middle. 2 balls and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Zaytoven with a 5er. Appreciate you. Yeah, call it how I see it. Stacks, racks, Cactus Jack, bang, bang. Can't blame me if you don't win a bet. Appreciate you, though, for the $5 dono. I mean, baseball is unpredictable. Just like any sport. But I'll just call it how I see it. Top of the 10th, runners at first and second and no outs. We're knotted up at 2. And JP with a bunt. Wow. Holy moly. Are you kidding me? And a flip to third and got the force out. But man, that almost worked. I mean, you needed to drop that bunt towards first base, not really towards second and third there. What a wild play. Fielder's choice. But again, why is JP bunting towards third? The whole point is if you have no outs and you have runners at first and second is to move those runners to second and third. So again, not smart by J.P. Crawford. I mean, he's already 0 for 4. If you would have sacrificed yourself and got the runners to second and third, then we could have maybe scored something. Come on, my guy. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. First pitch, high and inside, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, low and away with the cutter. 2 balls and no strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Already put the team on his back with 2 solo dingers in the first and the 6th. 2-0 pitch, in play, flies out to left, and that is 2 away. We're wasting an opportunity here, Mariners. I mean, JP, if he would have just dropped the bunt down to first and sacrificed himself, we could have been in a better position here. You got to have good baseball IQ, and I don't know what the fuck he was thinking there. But we still got a guy that could be the hero here. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. Big dumper, Cal Raleigh. We're looking for home run number 40. Come on, Cal. But we'll take a single or a double. Anything that just keeps the game going. Come on, big dumper. I don't think I've seen someone fumble the bag as bad as JP in that situation in a moment. But again, he's been a little off. You know, he had an error a couple days ago, had 3 other baseballs, go past him. I don't know if he's dealing with something mentally or physically or something at home. I don't know, but it just doesn't seem like he's been his normal self lately. But hopefully he'll be able to, be that great defensive player at short and also get some fucking hits. First pitch from Zephyr John to Cal Raleigh, low and away, 1-0 count. I mean, especially when you have a guy that's having a fucking meltdown late, you have to capitalize. Otherwise, the Angels are going to win this. 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike with runners at first and second and 2 outs. We're knotted up here at 2. Come on, Cal. Trident's up. Looking for home run number 40. Let's go. 1-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking outside of the line. 1 ball and 2 strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Man, this ump is just fucking terrible with this outside strike bullshit. He's definitely given the Mariners and Brian Wu and a few of our pitchers that call, but come on, man. I mean, a 1-2 count is a lot different than a 2-1 count, especially late in the game. Top of the 10th, runners at first and second with 2 outs. We're tied up at 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Zephyr John to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Come on, Mariner Moose. Come on, Cal. Come on, baby. Come on, big dumper. RBI single will win it. More than likely, you would think. 1-2 pitch. Low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Zephyr John to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Runners at first and second, but it would have been a much better position with runners at second and third if JP just would have bunted towards first instead of bunting towards third where the runner was going. Dumb. 2-2 pitch. Low and away with the sweeper. Count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at first and second and 2 outs. This is huge here. Hopefully we get a walk with Cal Raleigh, and then we get a RBI single by Naylor to give us the 3-2 advantage. 3-2 pitch, and that is strike 3 looking brutal. You've got to be fucking kidding me. Oh, what a wasted inning there in the top of the 10th. We could have taken the 3-2 lead. Fumbled the bag royally. All right, let's see who's up next here for the Angels, and hopefully we have enough pitchers that can come in to, do a good job like Bizzardo, Brash, and Mooney have already done. Next up, 1 for 3 with a K, Logan Ohapi. Batting second, 0 for 1 would have been Chris Taylor, but then we are going to have Lamont Wade Jr., and then batting third, 0 for 3 with a K, Luis Rengifo. So Ohapi, Lamont Wade Jr., the former Giant, still looks weird in that Angel uniform, if you ask me. And batting third, Luis Rengifo. And will the pitcher for the Mariners be Munoz again? I highly doubt it. But so who are they going to bring in? Or will it be Munoz again? I mean, we've gone Wu, Bizzardo, Brash, and Mooney. I mean, if we just got more offense today, then, maybe it's already game over at that point. But, you got to earn it. No, Legumina's coming in. I was going to say, with his pitch count, I highly doubted that they were going to bring Mooney out. They typically aren't going to have Mooney pitch 2 innings. I mean, they have in the past, but didn't really think it was going to happen here. Hold your breath with Legumina. Hopefully he ends up being the good Casey Legumina, not the bad. Otherwise, we might end up losing it right here. Yeah, but I don't think I've ever seen such a big mental error by JP Crawford, maybe in his career. You have to understand, where you're at in the game, and again, bunting towards third when you have runners at first and second where you're trying to move them over, let alone become safe yourself. But ultimately in that position, you're sacrificing yourself to move those guys over. So that way, if we get a single, we go up 3-2. But, I don't know what JP was thinking there. Maybe he just wasn't thinking. First pitch from Legumina to Ohapi, fouls it off high and inside. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away to Logan Ohapi. No balls and 2 strikes from Legumina to Ohapi. Come on, baby. Come on, Casey. I mean, the only time you're really not bunting is when you have 2 outs, right? 0-2 pitch, and Ohapi flies out to center, but Newman tags up and goes to third. Ay. This is not looking good. Next up, 0-for-1, Lamont Wade Jr. And we're going to have to pray that we get punch-outs by Wade Jr. and Rengifo, which is possible if Casey can, pitch well here. Bottom of the 10th, we're tied up at 2. And I want this to be the game where, Julio plays well, plays great, plays elite. But again, every time he plays well, it seems like no one else plays, well with him. And that's a fucking problem. Especially if he ends up hitting 2 home runs in a game. It's not like Julio is Cal Raleigh. He's not going to be able to do that many times throughout the season. So if Julio is going to homer twice in a game, we got to win. Legumina on the mound, Lamont Wade Jr. in the box, and we have a mound visit for Legumina here. First pitch from Legumina to Lamont Wade Jr. Takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Oh, 0-1 pitch, right down the middle, called ball, should have been called strike. I don't know what this ump is smoking, but he's been terrible these last 5 innings. 1 ball and 1 strike from Legumina to Lamont Wade Jr., the former Giant. 1-1 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Lamont Wade Jr. Come on, Casey. And again, if you're going to give that pitch inside, as a ball, why are you only giving the strikes when it's outside? Call it right down the middle, my guy. 2-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Lamont Wade Jr. Yeah, but also you got to be able to hit it deep enough, and we weren't able to do that, so. Two-two pitch, high and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Legumina to Lamont Wade Jr. Come on, Casey. Bottom of the 10th. 3-2 pitch and a fucking walk. Unbelievable. Next up for the Angels now with runners at first and third and 1 out. Second baseman Luis Rengifo. And this is a problem when the game goes late and you've already used all your good pitchers. You've already went with Wu, Bazardo, Brash, Munoz, and you only had them pitch 1 inning each instead of 2 for Bizzardo, Brash, or Mooney. And now you're stuck with Legomina praying to the sports gods that he doesn't lose the game for us here. Yeah, Nick, you called it right there. Need a double play. Bad. First pitch from Legomina to Rengifo. Fouls it off right down the middle. 0-1 count. We need a slow dribbler right up the middle to JP or Cole Young to get the double play to get us out of this fucking jam. Yeah, Rengifo might stink and be 0 for 3, but that doesn't mean he can't get a single right here or a sac fly and the game's over. I mean, technically, he doesn't even need to get a hit for the team to win. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Legomina to Rengifo. And it's not like Legomina is that great either. I mean, sometimes he plays great, but other times he stinks. Bottom of the 10th, we're knotted up at 2. Runners on the corners at first and third and 1 out. And the Angels are threatening. Come on, Mariners. Rengifo in the box. Legomina on the mound. 1-1 pitch. High and away. 2 balls and 1 strike with runners on the corners at first and third in the bottom of the 10th with 1 out. We had a 2-run RBI double by Joe Adell in the first inning that gave him the 2 runs. Julio Rodriguez homered in the first inning and in the 6th inning, and that's kind of where we've sat, this whole game. Not a whole lot of runs or hits today. Come on, Casey. Two 2-1 pitch. And fielder's choice. Newman is out at home. There we go. Great job there. And nice little run down there by Cal Raleigh and company. 2 away. All right, we have a chance. Now we have runners at first and second with 2 outs, and getting that runner, coming home was definitely essential. All right, next up, 1 for 4 with a run on his bobblehead night, Zach Neto. Don't even think about being the hero, Zach. A nice play there by Ben Williamson and Cal Raleigh, playing catch back and forth, and JP getting the tag on Newman. Now we have a mound visit by Woodworth and company. Cal trying to get the proper motivation for Legomina here to get us out of the jam. Let's go. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. First pitch from Legomina to Neto. High and away with the sweeper. 1-0 count. Bottom of the 10th, runners at first and second with 2 outs. 2-2 tie. And again, the Mariners and Angels, they know each other inside and out. It's always going to be competitive regardless of records of the teams. Throw the records out the window. But this game is really key because, again, if we win this game, we have a chance to win 3 out of 4. If we lose this game, we probably lose tomorrow and then win with Logan Gilbert on Sunday. So we'll see how it goes. At 1-0 pitch in play. There's the single, and that is game over. Motherfuck. Neto on his bobblehead night is the hero, and Lamont Wade Jr. scores, and that's the end of the Mariners. Brutal. And again, we got George Kirby on the mound tomorrow. If it's the good George, we'll have a chance. But George has been reeling lately, so we'll see. But that's a game that we should have won. But again, another game where Julio plays elite, but nobody else plays well. And I don't know what we need to do to change that. Maybe JP bunting towards first, not fucking third, and maybe we would have won. But this one stings. But congratulations to the Angels. You did it. And I will be live tomorrow, obviously, for George Kirby on the mound. And hopefully we can find a way to win that one. If not, we're going to split the series. If we win tomorrow, we can win with Logan Gilbert. But again, this is a game that we kind of let slip through our fingers. And another game where Julio Rodriguez plays amazing, but nobody else does jack shit. Final score, Angels 3, Mariners 2 and 10. And this is a heartbreaking loss for us Mariner fans, especially after the Athletics and Kurtz went off on the Astros, going 6 for 6 with 4 home runs. And when we have a chance to finally try to catch up in the standings, the Mariners shit the bed. Brutal. And it's still early in the season. It's not like the season is fucking over. Okay, we still got plenty of chances to be able to turn shit around. But again, umping was not good today. But also, no one else really stepped up besides Julio. And if you really think about it, JP, I don't want to say we lost because of him, but if he would have bunted towards first and sacrificed himself, maybe we would have went up 3-2 at that point, and maybe we would have won 3-2. But we'll never know. But congratulations to the Angels. You earned it. Zach Neto, the MVP, obviously with that game-winning RBI late, as well as Joe Adell with a 2-run RBI double in the first inning. It just sucks when, Julio Rodriguez ends up hitting 2 dingers and we still lose. But, for whatever reason, we can't win when he plays well. Well, I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Make sure to hit that like button on your way out. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Final score, Angels 3, Mariners 2 and 10. And I will be live tomorrow, same time, same place, 6:35 Pacific with George Kirby on the mound. Love you and appreciate you. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. And I'm out. Tridents up and go M's.